It is cold, it is rainy, but who cares? It's the playoffs. Coming up next, potential shootout between Liberty and Villanova. Round 2 of the FCS playoffs on ESPN 3. Welcome to the NCAA FCS Football Championship. It is presented by Northwestern Mutual. We're at Villanova Stadium outside Philadelphia for second-round action between the Liberty Flames and the 6th-seeded Villanova Wildcats. We know this much. The winner of this game faces either Sam Houston State or Jacksonville State. That game today is at halftime in Alabama. It's a shootout. Jacksonville State leading 26-24. And one final already in the books. Fordham and New Hampshire. New Hampshire takes advantage of turnovers, wins easily 44-19. Greetings, I'm Jim Barber. This is Dustin Fox, who starred at The Ohio State University. John Robertson, remember that name, starting quarterback today for Villanova. Engaging personality off the field, electrifying on the field. What else can you tell us about it?
Well, I can tell you that he's a Walter Payton Award candidate, and he's done everything for this team this season, including throwing for 34 touchdowns, only 3 picks. And he's also going to go over 1,000 yards rushing today. And I'll tell you what, you look across the field against Liberty, well, they're going to need a big day out of their safety, Jacob Hagan. The guy has 8 interceptions on the season. He's their senior captain. And folks around the NFL are already interested in this guy. Great body type to play in the National Football League.
And Dustin, the weather today, in a word, is miserable. I don't know if there's a wind chill factor yet, but we know this much. It's been raining all day, and it is not likely to let up. Despite the fact they're here to watch a big-time playoff game, and everybody is amped up, and why not? They haven't faced each other this year, but they know the stakes are quite high. Coming up next, starting lineups and the opening kickoff, it's the Flames and the Wildcats. Umbrellas have been out since early this morning. Doubleheader today for Villanova. We'll tell you about that in a little bit. Look at the Liberty Flames and the Hawaiian uniforms decked out in the red numbers. That's Andy Talley, young age of 71, still coaching. Dustin, year number 30. Already has a national championship under his belt back in 2009. And his overall record, 214, 127, and 1. He was hoping for a clear, mild day. We have the mild part. The clear part's not going to happen. And Turner Gill, remember that name from the Nebraska lore? Third season as Liberty head coach, 23-13, winning percentage of 64. The Flames will get the football first. Alpha Jallo is 38. He is deep. Big question mark in today's game, and Dustin will get into it. In terms of the keys, are the kicking dilemma.
Yeah, Villanova is possibly going to a new kicker this afternoon. They've had some woes as the season has went on, and I'll tell you what, the weather is not going to be very favorable to trying out a new kicker possibly this afternoon.
Chris Goff will get the start. He's a senior kicker. Field goal kicking has been a stretch, and extra points have been a disaster. But again, more of that a little later. Time to play football. Goff hits it from the 35-yard line. Jallo from his 2. Straight up the middle's got room. Makes a man miss. 35 still going to football. To midfield. They're going to try to cut him off on the angle. And he knock him out of bounds or close to it inside the 30-yard line. Wow, what a beginning.
Some poor tackling by Villanova, but what a return. And it's a couple of guys missing. Shows some speed here at the end of the run. And take a look at Joshua Yoda at the end, busting his tail to get down and be a lead blocker, but what an unbelievable start for Liberty. Talk about field position. They're inside the 30-yard line to start this ball game.
Yeah, he flips the field in a hurry. As you look at Josh Woodrum, that was good for 72 yards. Straight up the middle on the first rushing play, DJ Abner, the junior running back from Tallahassee, Florida, who this year 1,235 yards. On the season, it is 2nd and 8.
Hey, you remember the name Rashad Jennings? Starts for the New York Giants. Well, DJ Abner, he gets a couple more touchdowns. He'll tie his single-season record here at Liberty. Pretty good one.
Oh, indeed. There's the junior quarterback out of Roanoke, Virginia. This time Woodrum from the gun. Against a 3-3-5 Villanova defense, throwing down to the end zone's got a receiver. Out of bounds at the 4-yard line, the electric Darren Peterson. His first of what likely, Dustin, will be many catches today.
There's no question. We knew coming into this game that Peterson was going to have to be a big factor for Liberty's offense. Take a look at that play right there. Matt McCann plays the Spurs safety spot, not known for his coverage skills, was matched up against the best wide receiver for Liberty. That's a mismatch that Josh Woodrum will take all afternoon.
So it is 1st and goal from the 4. Give to Abner, cutting to the left side, and brought down before he could get to the end zone. Cam McCurry saved the touchdown for the moment. Number 7. Abner, the coaching staff of Liberty says, has all the skills.
Yeah, he's a very talented guy. I mean, he's not the biggest, 5'10", 185, but he plays a lot bigger than that body type, and especially down here around the red zone. It's fun to run behind those big offensive linemen.
On 2nd down, Abner again, straight ahead, trying to find some penetration, and he is short. Liberty wanted a penalty as Abner was thrown to the ground, but more importantly, play was blown dead at the 1. It is 3rd and goal. Villanova making a stand here.
Big stand by big number 92, Tano Passignon, who is back healthy finally for the first time. They're telling us, the Villanova people today, he's the guy you want to lead off the bus.
Yes.
Because of how big and intimidating he looks.
Palau, the fullback, 41 in the game. Lone running back right now on 3rd and goal. They give to the big fullback a penalty flag on the play. Let's see if that's motion or illegal procedure coming up against Liberty. In fact, it is actually offsides on Villanova.
Still 3rd down.
So it is 3rd now and roughly a half a yard for a touchdown.
I mean, this has got to be 4-down territory when you get down here. I would imagine Turner Gill, as aggressive as he has been this season, you'd imagine they would go for it possibly in 4th down. Think about this, Josh Woodrum, with his body type, 6'3", 225, why don't just quarterback sneak it?
Let's see if he does indeed. Instead, he options to the end zone, and he walks in. Touchdown, Liberty.
Well, you did mention where Turner Gill played college football, right? Nebraska?
They did that over there, didn't they?
What are they known for at Nebraska? The option.
Yes.
And there's Woodrum. He walks in like he's playing PlayStation. That's too easy.
I'll bet Woodrum knew that play before Gill got on campus, don't you think?
I would imagine.
Shahadi to hold and Lunsford to kick. In less than 3 minutes, the Flames are on the board with 7. Set up by an electrifying kickoff return by Alpha Jallo from 72 yards.
Well, not the way you'd want to start the game if you're Villanova. But the good news, they got John Robertson. As we take a look at the Northwestern Mutual planning for success, I think, Jim, for Villanova, they've got to control the time of possession. Last week, they had the football for 11 minutes, the final drive of the game. And then, of course, for Villanova, we talked about how successful John Robertson has been, but they're going to need their kicking game to step up today.
There's John Robertson. Had an opportunity to talk to him yesterday, and this is a guy that makes a lot of people miss when he isn't throwing the football, and when he is so secure with the ball.
And what's amazing about him is, people don't know, he broke his hand in the 2nd game of the season and played nearly 8 ball games with a cast on it, on his offhand, his non-throwing hand. But take a look at him against Syracuse early in the season. That game went to double overtime against an FBS opponent. He's up for the Walter Payton Award this season.
Yeah, and in fact, Adams, who has led Eastern Washington to all types of victories and has thrown 30 scores, 6 picks, hasn't played part of the season, so it's really going to come down to a lot of people believe Robertson or Adams. John Lunsford set to kick off. And deep for number 20, Joe Sarnice, and 31, Matt Goodzak. High end over end. This is Sarnice, 2 yards in. And they'll bring him down around the 20-yard line. Flames are amped up on the sidelines. And Robertson set to go to work for the first time today for Villanova. His defensive buddy, Don Cherry, calls him the captain of our ship.
It's unbelievable. You take a look at those numbers. 3 interceptions. I mean, that is like unheard of at any level, to be that consistent and to be able to score that many touchdowns. He's been phenomenal. Obviously, we know that he's up for the Walter Payton Award. Injury on the field.
That's Cam McCurry. We'll try to update his situation in a moment. Welcome back to the NCAA FCS Football Championship, part of Jimmy V Week for Cancer Research on ESPN, as we continue our commitment to the V Foundation and Jim Valvano's dream to defeat cancer. You can donate by logging on to www.jimmyv.org or call 1-800-4-JIMMY-V. 100% of all direct cash donations are awarded to Cancer Research. Dustin Fox, Jim Barber back at Villanova Stadium. We're after the injury timeout to Cam McCurry. Villanova set to go on offense for the first time, and what type of play calling might we anticipate here early in the game?
Well, it'll be interesting to see what they decide to do with the weather. The rain is obviously coming down at a pretty good clip here, and when you talk to the coaching staff throughout the week, they do want to try and get the football down the field, even though the rain is coming down, so maybe some shots here on this first drive down the field.
Robertson activates all offense outside from the shotgun. There will be no huddle, and right now he is set to go as the officials are set, and we start. From the 21. In the backfield, Kevin Monangai, who gets the handoff. Checked out, Robertson keeps. Wasn't full. Fumble. Liberty may have it. Nope, Villanova able to recover, but a loss of 3 as the Flames nearly got the ball, but Poppy Livers, their outstanding wide receiver, fell on and bailed him out.
Wow, right place, right time for Poppy Livers. That could have been a devastating turn of events. As we take a look at this, fooled everybody. Thought he handed the football off to Monangai, and it was not. It was just a design quarterback keeper, and early in the game, you see the weather maybe being a factor, holding onto the football.
A loss of 2, 2nd and 12. Robertson to the outside, and out of bounds is Livers. They'll spot him at the 30-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd and 2 after pickup of 11. Poppy Livers, Lawrence the 4th Livers. Well, Poppy sounds...
Poppy's much cooler, isn't it?
It is, and in fact, he got that nickname practically at birth. So who are we to change it, right?
No.
Remember, Robertson can run here, approaching 1,000 yards on the season. Faking the jet sweep, keeping the ball, and drag behind the line of scrimmage.
Guess who? Number 27, Jacob Hagan. We talked about it in the open. He'd be a big factor in trying eliminating what John Robertson was going to do. Boy, comes up with a big play early in this ball game to get the football back to his offense.
A 3-and-out for the Wildcats and 2 tackles for losses on the drive. Hagan now up to 96 tackles for the year. Colin Linden will snap. John Hinchin to punt. And before that happens, 5-yard penalty coming up against the Wildcats, who, Dustin, are off to a pretty rough start so far in the first 4 minutes.
Hey, you think about it. I mean, special teams. We were talking about the kicking game for Villanova and how it would be a factor. Well, the coverage unit to start the ball game allowed Liberty to set their offense up in great field position. Now you talk about it, they had a fumble and a special teams penalty here. They're going the wrong direction.
Not very long for Hinchin. Line drive, and the catch is made at the 43-yard line. Great field position for Liberty on its 2nd drive of the game. Flames 7, Wildcats nothing. Round 2 of the NCAA FCS Championship. And this game under the lights. The lights have been out all afternoon long. In fact, probably from the morning due to the fact that we've had inclement weather. Liberty from the Big South and from the CAA Villanova in a 7-0 game. So 2 possessions for Liberty. First drive started at the Villanova 27, and Dustin, this one starts at their own 43.
Great field position for their offense so far. And now that they've got Woodrum back healthy, it's not a good sign for Villanova's defense.
Darren Peterson, the outside receiver for the Flames in the white. And from the shotgun, Josh Woodrum, who has the 1-yard touchdown run. Pitch to Abner, trying to run to the outside, now cuts it back. He'll be dragged down around the 47. Good pickup on first down. Coaches always call that being on schedule, and that's an on-schedule play.
It was, and it was a good cut by him to cut back upfield because it looked like it was going to be a loss or a minimal gain. Ends up picking up about 3.
They spotted at the 46, 2nd and 7. This time 3 receivers coming to the right of quarterback Woodrum, whose goal is to be the best quarterback in the entire world, according to his head coach, Turner Gill. It's good ambition. Fake to the running back over the middle. Ball caught as they throw underneath. Close to the first down marker. Gabe Henderson was the receiver. Pick up a 6. It'll be 3rd and 1.
You always wonder how a team's going to come off of a bye. Are they going to come out rejuvenated, refreshed, or are they going to be a little bit sluggish? A lot of times, if you follow the NFL, you have byes throughout the season, and I think what we're seeing here so far is Team Villanova that they got some guys back healthy, but the start to the game has been far from what they would like.
It's like when you do your award-winning radio show in Cleveland. If you have a week off, you're just not the same.
You're not. It takes time to get back into a rhythm. Absolutely.
3rd and 1. Woodrum looking to throw. Has a receiver. It's the running back Abner. First down inside the 40 of Villanova. So an effective play by Woodrum, who couldn't find his outside receivers, and check down to DJ Abner. Pickup of 11. And here come the Flames from the 38.
Flames are hot so far.
Oh, man, right now they look like the better team, even though we've only played virtually half of the first quarter. They certainly look like the more aggressive. Falalu, 41, is the fullback. Here comes the blitz. They pick it up. Woodrum throwing long near the end zone. Ball up in the air. Incomplete. Double coverage on Darren Peterson as Joe Sarnice was back there. Number 20.
And taking a shot down the field for their big wide receiver, Darren Peterson. Pretty good throw. Taking a shot, trying to work against the cornerback, Jason Sinas.
So they had Sinas and Sarnice back there, double teaming him, and now this time 3 receivers to the left side. Sent Kendall Kuhlman, number 17, Peterson and Henderson out to the left, and now they send Kuhlman in motion. On 2nd down, Abner, penalty flag on the play. Abner to that second line of defense. Very close to the first down, but we'll see what the marker is about.
It might have an offsides penalty here. Like Villanova got in there pretty quick.
Michael Davis is our referee today. Gilbert Byers, the umpire. Andy Whitehead, linesman. The line judge is Bob Hefferson. Frank Usiglio is the back judge. Bill Schoen, the side judge. Field judge is Dan Carr. Bill Stevens, clock operator. Play clock operator is Waller Yost.
Offsides. Bring it to the defense. That penalty's declined. Result of play. 2nd down.
So they decline the penalty. They'll take the yardage. The down moves up to 2nd. It is 2nd and 1. Some coaches will take the 5 and go 1st and 5. How about you?
I think I would take the 9-yard pickup and say we've only got to pick up 1 yard here. Say 3rd down on the field.
Abner straight ahead. He appears to have enough for a 1st down, and that pile is still moving.
That doesn't matter.
Yeah, although our line judge will actually be the determining factor as to where the spot will be. And in fact, the spot appears to have him right on the chains, or maybe a little short. So the spot is certainly not in favor of Liberty. And that brings up a little drama here in our first quarter. Scoreboard and the Chains have 3rd and 1 now. It's been switched to 4th and 1.
It is 4th and 1, and see how aggressive they're going to be with this call.
Need to pick up a yard straight ahead to the fullback. Did he get a second effort? Falalu thinks so. So does Cannon Smith, the tight end. And it is enough for first down. So Liberty, well, they made their fans a little anxious there, but to get that much needed yard. First down now from the 27, ahead 7-0. These people came drenched in their rain gear long before this game began.
I was told they brought 30 buses of fans all the way up from Virginia, 6.5 hours for this ball game.
Fresh off a huge win over James Madison, 26-21. In trouble, Gabe Henderson brought back to the 35-yard line. Not sure if Henderson wanted to throw or not on the play, but it never developed. That's Reggie Paris, number 88.
Yeah, I think they were trying to get something like a little trick play, reverse pass with Gabe Henderson, and just nowhere to go. Great job by Reggie Paris getting in there from his defensive end spot and shutting down that play. It's a big loss.
Dustin, you're moving to football. Why go to a trick play at that point?
Great question. I'm not calling the plays. I'm just calling the game.
Fair enough. After the loss of 8, 2nd and 18, Abner running to the sidelines. Got a few yards back, maybe. Depends on where they'll spot it. Might have got maybe 2. But it is 3rd and predictable, 3rd and 16.
Well, now here's the interesting thing about Liberty's offense. They have the best kicker in the entire country. I mean, this guy could kick it from 65 yards. Now, the weather will be a factor, but I'm thinking about here, 3rd down. Do you think, well, maybe we don't need to pick up all of it, 16 yards, but maybe 5-10 yards allow us an opportunity to bring our kicker on the field?
Yeah, good point. Right now it'd be a 50-yard attempt. Ball spotted at the 33 on 3rd and 16 on the 10th play of the drive. Woodrum in trouble and throwing, and just basically got rid of it as he was pressured. C.J. Logan, the first one to get in his face. And so now that brings Liberty to what appears to be an attempted field goal, as you mentioned earlier, Dustin. And this will be from 50 yards out by John Lunsford, who the Liberty people say has kicked a 70-yarder in practice.
See, if he's kicked a 70-yarder, you think that'd be on YouTube somewhere where we could find that?
Well,
now remember,
Shades of Auburn, Alabama. Villanova's got a man deep to run it back, although now they are bringing him up. From 50 yards out, he's got the distance. The kick is good. In 2 years, it's hello NFL for John Lunsford. Right now, Liberty with a 2-score lead. You're watching the NCAA FCS Football Championship presented by Northwestern Mutual. That's John Lunsford. All he has done this year is hit a kick from 60, 57, 56, and now 50. All right, you played in the league. What do you think his chances are?
I think they're pretty good to make it to the National Football League. And, you know, we were chatting about this before the game, and now as we get to see him up close and personal, how impressive is it for him to be able to come out here in this weather, in these conditions, and kick a 50-yarder? I'm so impressed by this kid.
And again, the Liberty Flames people swear he's kicked them much further than he's done on record.
Well, you know, the thing about that is the older these people get and as time goes on, he will have kicked an 80-yarder, you know, in 20 years from now.
This one is 5 yards into the end zone, and by NCAA rules established for the start of the 2013 season, the touchback brings the ball to the 25. 15 offensive plays, Dustin, for Liberty, and 13 have been in Villanova territory.
Yeah, and this offense, this Villanova offense, the first drive, 3 and outs. They've got to get something going here because all of a sudden, if Liberty gets a lead, they'll just sit on the football. The time of possession battle they've owned this year, especially when they've been successful. John Robertson's going to have to make some plays for this offense.
Hardly a guy, though, to be shaken by a 10-0 deficit. He's just got that personality that exudes confidence, and he's ready to get his team oriented at the 25-yard line and hopefully back in sync after a week off. Now throwing on the Mills, got a receiver. 45 and down to the 43-yard line. Wide open tight end and back and healthy Ernest Petway. 31 yards.
Hey, you hit on it. It's good to have Ernest Petway back in this offense. Take a look at this. Wide open over the middle. Nobody there. In fact, safety's got to drop a little bit deeper, but we'll go up tempo.
Now trying to run the football, and a good cutback by Monangai, who carries down to the 37-yard line for a pickup of 7. It'll be 2nd and 3, so it looks like Villanova's, as the cliche goes, is shaking off the cobwebs, and I guess maybe it takes getting slapped in the face early to maybe get yourself oriented to the significance of the game.
What are we, about 5:05 Eastern Standard Time? Nobody told Villanova the game started at 4:30.
Yes.
All of a sudden, they've just woken up.
Robertson with a look to the sidelines. Ross Hall's the center, back from injury. Monangai is going to be swaddled up at the 40-yard line. Gang tackled for a loss of 3. That's 76, Jerron Green. One of their key guys, the nose tackle, who sits in at 6'2" and 310.
And it's amazing. He's playing with a club on his hand. He's played with it all season, been one of the more productive guys on this defensive line at the nose tackle position. 6'2", 310 pounds, making a big play there.
Yeah, if you're wondering at home, that's most legal. You can do that. It's covered up. 3rd down, must get the ball to the 34 for 1st down. Robertson flushed out of the gun and throwing, and he one-hops it to his receiver. Livers, it'll be 4th down, and they put some heat on John Robertson. So 4th down coming up. And you know the kicking game from Villanova has suffered, so John Hinchin will come on and try to coffin corner this kick.
Villanova's defense, Liberty's defense so far in this game doing a pretty good job on 3rd down, getting off the field. And their defense, Liberty, last year they were a much better defense. This year they're giving up 26 points a game as opposed to 17 last year.
Henderson with a fair catch at the 20.
So it's surprising to see this defense come out and be so effective against this Villanova high-powered offense.
Just a punt of 19 yards on the play. Coastal Carolina has beaten Richmond 36-15. In the 4th, Sam Houston State has taken the lead over Jacksonville State. And the winner of this game could face Sam Houston State at home next week. New Hampshire, we told you, the top wins easily 44-19. Illinois State under Brock Spack, the former Purdue linebacker, ahead in the 4th. In the Fargo Dome, that's where you want to be someday, I know. North Dakota State, South Dakota State, a good one at 14. And I'll bet Vernon Adams has led Eastern Washington to first score in the 1st quarter against Montana. 3rd offensive series, and Abner loose for a moment, still going with a football and gets 8, maybe close to 9 on 1st down. DJ Abner. Not only is he good at just about anything he can be at, his coach says tough at 185 as anybody can be at that weight class. We mentioned the kudos that come from Turner Gill, the head coach, who was quite a running back / quarterback in his day.
Back in the early 80s with the Huskers.
He's got that stoic look on the sidelines, too, kind of the Tom Osborne.
He's a bad-looking dude, that guy.
Yeah. This time, nowhere to go for Abner, and he is dropped for a loss. So that front group and the middle linebacker, the Mike linebacker, Don Cherry, who's already forced 5 fumbles this year and recovered a fumble. He was telling us yesterday, the reason he's so good is that he's always sniffing around the football and then developing and watching tendencies of running backs and quarterbacks prior to him making his lunging move. Officially 3rd and 3, 4 receivers set. Empty backfield, 1st down catch. Past the 35-yard line on a rocket to his receiver, Kendall Kuhlman. Nope, check that, 13, Darren Peterson.
How about this? They take all the wide receivers, they go quads to the right side, and then on the backside they leave Darren Peterson matched up against, guess who? A true freshman cornerback. They come backside with an easy slant, pitch and catch, first down.
And you talk to the Villanova people, particularly coordinator Billy Crocker on the defensive side, and he said, I know our freshman is going to get picked on.
Yeah.
So we got to rise up. 4 first downs now for the Flames. Send a man in motion on the jet sweep. Pitch it back instead, and great pursuit there, and not much happening as Zach Parker carried the ball, and he got tracked down in a hurry.
What did you just say about Don Cherry? He's always sniffing around. Yeah, he's sniffing around in a big way right here on this play. Sniffs this one out for a no gain, maybe even about a half-yard loss there. Don Cherry just voted academic All-American this week, too. He's a smart guy. They say he probably be the president one day. A president of something.
He is. He's a finance major.
Yeah.
2nd and 11. 10-0 Liberty as we're winding down the first quarter from Villanova. Shells in motion, flanks as the outside receiver. Quick throw, that one high up in the air, could have been picked, intended for Gabe Henderson. As Ed Shockley, the backup Mike linebacker, was defending number 33. Liberty has had its way so far in the first 2 possessions, so this is an important one for Villanova to try to make a stop.
Let's take a look at Shockley. Coach Crocker was telling us he'll play a lot today. Expecting him to get a lot of action in the rotation there as the true freshman's really been coming on at the end of the year.
From the 37, all-out blitz, and a throw. Man coverage incomplete. Got the coverage they wanted on the outside, intended for Henderson. But the pass goes incomplete, and so the Flames have to give up the ball.
Jim, I don't know if that football could have been thrown any more perfect, to be honest with you. I think what you saw right there was a situation where Gabe Henderson, who's one of the more sure-handed wide receivers on this team, let the weather become a factor because it came in hot and right off his fingertips.
Poppy Livers is back to receive the kick.
What a punt.
From inside the 15. Now cutting back. Penalty flag on the play. Livers will be dragged down, and now another flag comes in, and that's usually no good news for the receiving team, as special teams are typically assessed a penalty. Poppy Livers, if he's a factor today, Villanova's got a great chance to win. If they take him out of the game, then the favoritism goes to Liberty.
On the return, block in the back. The return team, half the distance to the goal, first down.
Not a good start on this possession for the Wildcats, off the block and back. With 25 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. Hardly how head coach Andy Talley drew it up. 200-plus wins at one school. There aren't many active head coaches that have done that in any division, but you include Andy Talley, who has 214 and counting. First year was in 1985, Dustin, to revive Villanova football that had gone dark for a few years.
Yeah, he's done a great job. He really has, and he just can't get away. He's been here so long, and they love him here. In fact, you and I were at the basketball game before this game, and they had a fat head. The student section had a fat head of Coach Talley. Probably 10 years ago, the picture was, because he's a lot younger in the photo.
I saw him before the game today. He was very impressed to know that. Up there with the likes of Jay Wright, who owns basketball, as you know, as head coach of the Wildcats, who easily took care of St. Joe today. So the first quarter is set to expire, and it's the Flames of Liberty, who have taken a great start to this one, leading 10-0. It's second down and long for Villanova when we come back here on ESPN3. Back to business, second quarter, Liberty 10 and Villanova nothing. Let's revisit our planning for success. Brought to you by Northwestern Mutual.
Well, we talked about it in the open. For Liberty to win this game, they're going to have to win the time of possession. Jim, take a look at that first quarter. 10 minutes, 48 seconds to just 4:12 for Villanova. They owned it in that first quarter. And how about this stat let me hit you with? Before today, the last 9 games, Villanova has outscored their opponents 104-35 the last 9 games. Domination by Liberty so far in his first quarter.
Yeah, likely winning the first quarter has been huge for Turner Gill, head coach of the Liberty Flames. One-time coach at Kansas, one-time star athlete for the Nebraska Cornhuskers. From the 9-yard line, this drive begins for John Robertson. Looking to throw, nobody open. Still tries to make it happen. He one-hops it to his receiver, 81 Petway. The beauty of Robertson, when you talk to Sam Venuto, the offensive coordinator for Villanova, is that even when receivers can't get separation, initially, Robertson, because he can dance around back there, eventually allows his guys to get beyond a defender when ordinarily within 3 seconds maybe they didn't initially.
That's why they call him the eraser, because he erases all the inabilities, all the mistakes for the offensive line. He just makes plays happen. And you talk about their wide receivers. I think it's a good point by you. They're just they're good receivers. They're not great. There's nobody there that stands out at you, but Robertson brings out the best.
Trying to make it happen on 3rd and 9 and throwing on the run, incomplete. Intended for Mike Burke. It is 3 and out, and Villanova's going to have to punt from its own end zone. The second 3 and out possession for Villanova. It's most unusual for a Wildcat offense that has produced touchdowns early in games, as you saw by the 104 points scored in the opening quarter. John Hinchin to punt for the 3rd time, and this possession, barring anything remarkable, will start inside Villanova territory. Although this is a boomer. And in fact, with a terrific kick, it actually will start with the Flames in their own possession area from the 38-yard line. So a great kick by Hinchin to get them out of trouble of 53 yards. Well, if your offense is stagnant, maybe your special teams can rescue you, as Hinchin did. Let's revisit the regular season in the CAA. New Hampshire was perfect, 8-0. Villanova had just one loss at 7-1. New Hampshire's already advanced to the next round with a win today. Then there's James Madison, which was eliminated by Liberty last week, 26-21. This drive starts from the 38, and the average field position start for the Flames has been terrific. Woodrum on the rollout, and he's got time. Now throwing down the field for a receiver, and it's picked off! Joe Sarnice with the interception, his 4th of the season. And the quarterback, Woodrum, got rocked.
Well, that interception's all on Josh Woodrum. He waited way too long to throw this football. He threw it behind his intended receiver of Darren Peterson. You take a look, and he does take a hit at the end of that play, but he allows Joe Sarnice to come up with his 4th interception of the season, working that free safety spot, playing middle field. Maybe the turnover will be the spark this offense needs to get something going.
Yeah, it's huge for the Wildcats, who have really struggled to move the ball on offense. Sarnice hit his numbers for the season. This drive will start for the Villanova 25, a whole lot better than the last drive, which began inside the 10. Just 43 yards total for the Wildcats, 31 on one play. To the flat, nothing available. Aaron Wells makes the catch, and the Flames look like they have an extra defender out there, the way they have been able to cover receivers today.
Yeah, they're just trying to get a little bubble screen here out on the outside to Aaron Wells. And Wesley Scott, from his cornerback spot, sheds a tackle, or sheds a blocker rather, and comes up with a big play.
It is 2nd and 12 on the 4th tackle for loss by Liberty. Three on the play clock. Robertson now stepping up. He'll run the football. This is what he does so well. It's cut down at the 30-yard line. However, there's a penalty flag back in the Villanova backfield. See if Robertson was aided by an illegal block or maybe a hold.
Holding, number 74 of the offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, 2nd down.
It's on the left guard, Kyle Wallace.
I'll tell you what's interesting. The last play, Liberty's defense had every defender within 8 yards of the line of scrimmage, challenging Villanova to beat them down the field with some passing attack. And I'll tell you what, right now, I mean, there's just nothing going down the field. It's all Robertson trying to make something happen with his feet.
John was saying yesterday they want to take some shots down the field early, but haven't been able to connect on anything to this point. They haven't gotten that separation. Out of the flat, up in the air, penalty flag on the play. Ball is caught off the deflection by Anthony DeCamillo.
May have a defensive hold on this play.
Holding on the defense, number 9. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
That's on Nick Newman. He's the will linebacker.
Yeah, he's trying to get his receiver over the middle, and Newman gets a little bit too much jersey.
Again, Michael Davis is our referee today.
Correction, the pass was thrown beyond the line of scrimmage, therefore automatic first down.
Well, that's a huge turn of events because it was going to be 2nd and 22. Wow, now 1st and 10. That's unbelievable. That's a big break for Villanova's offense.
Turner Gill gets the explanation on the Liberty sidelines. He's not thrilled about it, though. So Villanova out of trouble for the moment, now from the 23. 2 minutes in the second quarter, trailing by 10. Robertson calls his own number. He's approaching 1,000 yards. He started today at 978 and 9 scores. Prior to this game, Dustin, he had run 1,398 plays in his career for 9,956 yards.
He's not very good.
Not recently, anyway.
He's unbelievable.
2nd and 5. Running to the outside and a first down. Kevin Monangai. So Villanova now a little life to the offense on a pickup of 8.
You know, I know that was a pretty good pickup for Villanova's offense, but at the end of that play, again, you see Jacob Hagan. The reason NFL scouts are interested in him is because of plays like that. In the open field, being able to break down and make a tackle. Pretty impressed so far with what Hagan's been able to do.
Robertson on first down, looking to his receiver, intended for Austin Medley, who's the backup running back to Monangai. Incomplete, 2nd and 10. Just 3 first downs for this high-octane offense of Villanova, which comes in first in the nation in pass efficiency. Also 10th in rushing in the country. Haven't been able to run the football very much, though.
It's amazing. The last 2 weeks, including today, you know, Coastal Carolina's offense came into that game, averaging almost 500 yards of offense. They held them to only 312. So the defense for Liberty's really picked it up the last couple of weeks.
It's been huge. Monangai cutting to the edge and knocked out of bounds near midfield. So Kevin Monangai's got the offense going. He gets 11, first down, Villanova. Look how big that holding penalty was when it was 1st or 2nd and 22.
That's a bailout penalty. Liberty's got to do a better job, but right now they're going to take advantage of it any way they can.
Oh, sure. Back to Monangai, straight ahead. Puts the shoulder pad down, ball is loose, and the Flames got it. Dominique Davis, number 90, and Liberty gets a huge break.
Yeah, take a look at the end of this play. Monangai gets the football stripped out by Nico Davis, and Liberty's got the football back.
What, me worry about the rain? Hey, my team's ahead 10-0. Let it pour. And now Liberty gets the ball back after the fumble here by Monangai.
Yeah, it was going to be a pretty good gain for Villanova. Turns into a devastating play as Dominique Davis, the senior from Buffalo, New York, first team all-conference, does a great job searching for the football, and that's what you want out of your defense. When you get a guy wrapped up in the conflict of other defenders, you want that guy to come in and try and strip that football out. And Nico Davis does a great job, and now Liberty's got the football back at their own 44, which is a pretty good average start. If you take a look, their own 44 for the entire ball game. It's unbelievable.
By the way, give Kenny Scott credit for the fumble recovery. Dominique Davis actually got the strip. So with each drive averaging a beginning point of 44, the 44-yard line, it's no wonder Liberty has a 10-0 lead and can add to it here. Gain of 3 on the first rushing play of this drive, as we are 3.5 minutes into the second quarter in a rain-drenched Villanova Stadium. Twin receivers to Woodward's right. That's where he's looking to set up the screen. Peterson, he's got a chance to take it all the way. 20, 10, end zone. And out of bounds. Let's see where. Oh, at about the 1. They're conferring. Touchdown. What a play call, too. And right now, the Flames' speed is really a handful for Villanova.
Well, we knew coming into the game that Villanova's defensive coordinator, Billy Crocker, was concerned about it. Take a look at the speed at the end of this play as he turns on the afterburners, beating Logan there to the pylon, and then just finds a way. They'll take another look to make sure that he got in. I'm not so sure. He may have stepped out about very close there, about the 8-yard line. Did he?
I thought maybe
that
is 4, maybe 2.
Well, that's some Fred Astaire moves right there down the sideline.
It is.
It's going to be close to see if he did step out of bounds or not, but nonetheless, what an effort by Peterson, certainly at the end of that run. And again, you talk about just the pure athleticism. We get another look. His right, I think right there, his right toe.
Which would have been the 8-yard line.
The 8-yard line. I think his right toe got on the thick white.
If it stands, Peterson will have his 13th touchdown of the year. That leads the team easily in scoring. Got a great block, too, by wide receiver Dante Shells, number 8. He's going to push one of the defenders out of the way.
Now, remember, they did rule it a touchdown on the field, so they're going to have some visual evidence to overturn this call. It's close. The interesting part about it is, you know, Darren Peterson's got his shoes, they call it spatted up. They put the white tape on it. He's got white shoes on, so it's hard to tell if his toe, it's not like he has black shoes on, where you can see if it actually went on that sideline. I think it's going to be tough to overturn, even though it's very close.
Averages almost 100 yards receiving per game. And again, 12 touchdowns coming in.
Surprised by the start, Jim?
Very. Kept thinking Villanova's offense would be far more in sync with the speed, really, of Liberty, I think, is a concern. And Andy Talley talked about it yesterday, the head coach of Villanova. He says, we are overmatched in some areas in that respect. And you don't know sometimes if that's coach speak or they're really being honest. I think so far that's been spot on.
Well, you think about the game and you look at it just from a standpoint of, well, who's the best player on the field? Well, it's John Robertson. He plays for Villanova. Okay, well, where's the game at? It's at Villanova. Okay, great. Well, did Villanova play last week? No, they got a bye week. So everything points to Villanova coming out of this game and, being a heavy favorite, too, in the ball game. But Liberty, who has had some emotional wins the last couple of weeks.
To review, the runners here are on the 5-yard line. The first and goal, the 5-yard line. 10:59 on the game clock.
So take 6 points off the board for Liberty. It is 10-0. No touchdown reception for Peterson, and now the Wildcat defense has got to go to work as Liberty is 5 yards away from a touchdown. That's Turner Gill. Never changes expressions, or so it seems when he's on television. Right now he's got to be pleased at what he's seen.
Did a great job at Buffalo, moved on, didn't have the success he wanted at Kansas, but now at the FCS level is doing a tremendous job here with this Liberty team and 3 straight Big South championships.
Straight ahead running and maybe a loss on the play. Todd Macon getting his first carry of the game. Sam Houston State comes from behind, shutting out Jacksonville State in the second half. 37-26. The winner of our game will face Sam Houston State, and the winner of our game We'll also get a home date out of it as well.
So Liberty have a chance to take the fans back home. They haven't been home in 4 weeks.
Been a while. 2nd and goal from the 6. Broken up in the end zone. Nice defensive play by Jason Sinisis. So Sinius with a deflection. He already has 5 picks on the year, and also a couple of fumble recoveries. Comes up big.
Sinius not the biggest guy in the world, 5'9", 165 pounds, but Coach Crocker says he plays a lot bigger than that, and they were surprised because he's only a sophomore, and he's really came up big this year. Leads the entire conference in interceptions, as you mentioned, 5 picks on the year. Played a little bit of safety last season, which is a surprise to make that move and to be able to have the success that he has. Doing a great job.
Big play for the Villanova defense. And before it happens, timeout called by Liberty.
Timeout, Liberty.
Liberty 3 for 6 on 3rd down. I think this play, Dustin, is more significant for Villanova than is Liberty because touchdown here makes it a 3-score game, and Villanova has yet to reach the end zone.
Please change the game clock to 10 minutes, 6 seconds. 10 minutes, 6 seconds on the game clock.
Turner Gill coached and was successful, as Dustin mentioned, at Buffalo between 06 and 09. Went to Kansas. They expected better results. They didn't get it. He was fired quicker than I think a lot of people thought he should have been. So he has resurfaced at Liberty, and you ask him, is it more fun to be at a lower level of football? He said, I just enjoy football. I don't care where I'm coaching. I just look forward to doing it, getting up every day. This is part of who I am. Then you talk to guys like Frank Solich and Terry Bowden in the MAC, that they are enjoying more of the lesser pressure, lesser scrutiny. But I think Gill probably will be coaching Pop Warner and still be kind of excited about it.
Back to basics. You're still coaching football. You're still going to work every day. So one of the toughest parts about going to this level, though, is dealing with the money and the scholarships.
Option on 3rd and 6. Nothing happening. Woodrum never had a chance to pitch it as he came to the close side of the field. So that'll bring on John Lunsford, and that's a victory for the Wildcat defense, and they could use one right now.
I like the play call, and I think it was pretty smart here at the end by Woodrum just to tuck it and get down. You got to come away with points on this drive. You can't take a risk of turning the football over. And you know you got an automatic 3 here, as close as you are with Lunsford, now that I maybe jinxed him. 23-yard attempt is like stealing candy.
This year he's 17 for 22. This from the left hash. You didn't jinx him. He's too good.
I told you how good he was. Isn't that?
Lunsford has field goals of 50 and 22, and the Liberty lead now stretches to 13. The Wildcats have been busy today. They're cheerleaders over at the Pavilion to watch their team in basketball beat St. Joe, and now football this afternoon. The NCAA Division I Football Championship continues next weekend with quarterfinal games on December 13th. All games available on the Watch ESPN app and ESPN3. For more information, go to ncaa.com. That's the official online home for all 89 NCAA championships. Dustin Fox, Jim Barber, ESPN3 today. And we'll see if Villanova can get back in business. Trailing now by 13 after the second field goal of the game by Lunsford. Lunsford has a cannon for a leg. He'll kick this from the 35 in a driving rain. But this one is short. And fumbled out of bounds. Villanova will still have possession, and they will spot it at the 16. Wildcats have not had good field position today to start drives.
No, they've had a rough afternoon as we take a look at the brackets. A couple games in the books.
Coastal Carolina, which has had an outstanding regular season. After a bye, beats Richmond today. South Dakota State, as you know, won early last week. And today are tied up at North Dakota State's second quarter at 14-14. Average start for the Wildcats, so much different than Liberty. From their own 19, that's about a 25-yard difference than where the Flames typically set up shop. Play action over the middle. Got a receiver nearly picked off.
Kenny Scott playing his cornerback position, just cuts underneath of that route by Kevin Gulyas. Take a look at the end of this play. That should have been an interception. That's a dropped INT. That's a missed opportunity for Liberty.
John Robertson today, 3 of 8 for 40 yards. No yards rushing. That's hard to believe. And a Villanova team, as the flag comes in, it averages 39 points a game, but has pitched a shutout so far.
It's amazing how stout this defense has been.
Holding. Number 70 for the offense. Half the distance to the goal. Repeat second down.
Second time today to Kyle Wallace, the junior left guard out of Larksville, Pennsylvania, has been whistled up. And we have a Flames injured player at the 18-yard line. Wildcats with 5 penalties in this game, 0 points. A couple of drives that have been 3 and out. A 4-play drive, we want to call it a drive, that resulted in no first downs. And after a lengthy drive of 6 plays, a fumble.
Well, in that drive, Jim, was helped out by a penalty that gave him a first down. There was going to be a 2nd and 22 that turned out to be, because of a defensive hold, a first down. Then they finally got the football out near midfield, and then the fumble. So they've been shooting themselves in the foot all day. Only 74 yards of total offense.
Let's look at 59, Dylan Llewellyn, who was shaken up on the play, got credit for the tackle on Robertson. Came up afterwards. Chima Uzawehi, his own player, was hovering over him, but I think he may be okay. He's on the sidelines now, being helped out. Six minutes in the second quarter, second and very long for Villanova. From its own 8-yard line. Livers in motion, Robertson looking to throw, takes a shot down the field. He's got a receiver, ball caught! Gulyas still going, he could go for a touchdown to the 10 and down to the 5. Huge play for the Wildcats, and man, do they need that.
Going right back to Kevin Gulyas on the outside. They went to him the previous play. Should have been picked off by Kenny Scott. Instead, they go right back to him again, and Justin Guillory gets beat, and he's just got to make a tackle right here. You got to find a way to get him on the ground to eliminate the big play, eliminate the damage. Great effort by Wesley Scott to finish this thing off and not let him in the end zone, but my goodness, Justin Guillory, make a tackle. You got to make a tackle out there to eliminate an extra 35 yards run after catch.
87 yards, his best on the season. Prior to that, it was 66. For Villanova, the longest play of the season of 87 yards. And more significant is the fact that Villanova goes from deep in its own territory now to the threshold of the first score.
And it could have been a very devastating drive, too. We talked about Kenny Scott drops that interception. We talk about points, possibly Liberty maybe going up 20-0 or 17-0 now. A 14-point swing here possibly if Villanova can score some points.
First and goal, Wildcats at the 5. This game is flipped on a dime, Dustin.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
John Robertson now over 10,000 career yards, trying to punch it in for the first time today. From the shotgun, calls his own number, keeps the football. And they're going to stand him up before he gets close to the goal line. Even though he has not been brought down. Play is blown dead. Gets a couple yards on the play. Second and goal.
I think in this situation, Jim, what you'll have here is you'll have John Robertson carry the football 3 times in a row. I mean, how would you go to anybody else? Maybe you try a Manon guy a little bit here, but if I'm Andy Talley and Sam Venuto, the offensive coordinator for Villanova, I'm thinking John Robertson here, 3, maybe even you go for it on 4th down, considering the way that this ball game has went. And we know they don't go under center. They play everything out of the shotgun down there.
Looking for the end zone. Robertson, touchdown! Good call, Dustin. Villanova back in the game.
Well, and you've got a guy who has thrown for 34, rushed for 9 touchdowns as well, 1,000-yard rusher from the quarterback position. There's no doubt you're going to give the football to him and allow him to just do it himself. And what a turnaround we have here now. What looked like Liberty could have run away with the game. Villanova right back in it.
The extra point has been an adventure this year for Villanova. This one right down the pipe. Hey, it's the playoffs. Nobody misses then. And Kevin Gulyas, biggest play of the day and maybe one of the biggest in school history, certainly the longest, of 87 yards. It sets up a Robertson touchdown. Welcome back to the NCAA FCS Football Championship presented by Northwestern Mutual. For Villanova, there is life. The Wildcats' long scoring drive set up by an 87-yard catch and run. Now trailing the game 13-7. That's Alpha Jallo, who is deep, who also has a big play of his own to set up the first score of the game for Liberty. Chris Goff, who spells his last name G-O-U-G-H, is set to kick. Rain continues to come down and the temperatures are cooling. Jallo from about a yard in. Had a steam past the 50, lost the football. Villanova's got it. T.J. White with a recovery.
That's a game-breaking type of play, Jim. When you talk about getting a big play on offense, getting back into a game that the momentum had clearly been in favor of Liberty. How about this right here? You get a big hit, the weather becoming a factor in this ball game, and Villanova is going to have the football inside the red zone with a chance to take the lead in the ball game. When we started out, it could have been 20-0. They may have the lead.
2 takeaways today for Villanova and 35 on the season. It's been a big reason why the Wildcats are still playing in December.
Timeout, Villanova. There's a first charge timeout. 30-second timeout.
Wildcats will take a timeout. The first drives of the game, the first 4 for Villanova, netting just 74 yards. The last one, aided by an 87-yard catch, was good for 92. You know, if you stepped away a couple minutes from the TV set, 13-0 Liberty, you came back, you said, what's going on here?
Yeah, well, a couple of big plays and a turnover here and there can turn the football game right back around. And here's the big play by Kevin Gulyas, 87 yards, the longest play in school history. Longest reception, in school history. And it could have been longer. He gets run down at the end there by Wesley Scott to prevent the touchdown, but that's how these things go.
Think about it, too, that Villanova came up with that great goal line stand.
Yeah.
That mattered just giving up a field goal. Villanova straight ahead, and close to the goal line is Austin Medley, who nearly punched it in for a touchdown. It'll be first and goal for the Wildcats with a chance to tie the game. Pickup of 15.
They've got a little thunder and lightning of their own in the backfield, including Medley working with Manangai. Medley, more of the shifty, kind of a finesse runner, can make guys miss, and showed a little bit of burst there at the end, too.
Ryan Morris, the tight end, 89 in the game. On first and goal. Robertson handoff, Medley straight ahead. And they got him stacked up before he can reach the end zone. It'll be second and goals. We're under 7 minutes for the first half.
Well, now here's the play where you go right back to number 19 and just allow him to do it himself. You've only got to go 2 yards. You don't have a great kicker. You probably don't trust yourself, if you're Coach Talley, to send the field goal unit out there. I know he's got a couple plays to go. But John Robertson here, quarterback draw, quarterback sweep, something, a designed run for him, I'd imagine is coming up.
He has 10 touchdowns on the season rushing. Livers in motion. Snap to Robertson, gives to Medley, straight ahead. Still no signal. 3rd and goal. Are you surprised that Medley got it?
Yes and no. I say no because the last couple of runs he's had have been successful, but there's no way 19's not getting this one, right?
Or maybe on 4th down if they get stopped here. Robert Wimberly's the defensive coordinator for Liberty, hoping his team can come up with another big stand.
And you look at what Villanova's done this year in the red zone, 44 touchdowns at a 77% clip.
Snap to Robertson, he keeps. Now pitches back, Medley, end zone touchdown!
And you're going to get a personal foul late hit tacked on to the end of this run. Great play call by Sam Venuto, offensive coordinator for Villanova. Run a little option here with John Robertson, gets the football out of his hands. We're getting Medley involved in this offense.
His only play is a touchdown. After the play, personal foul, number 23 on the defense. That penalty will be administered on the kickoff. Touchdown.
And 15-yard penalties on Justin Guillory. Chris Goff is on for the extra point that could put him ahead. And another look at the option play. How many people out there thought Robertson was going to keep? Instead, he pitched back, hand in the air. Thank you, Justin.
I raised my hand.
Appreciate that, Dustin. Here's the kick for the lead. 2 touchdowns in 125 seconds for Nova. And Villanova goes ahead.
And stunned in disbelief from the Liberty sideline. Take a look at all their fans that have made the trek up here to Philadelphia for this game. That's what you call a turnaround.
Robertson, number 2 on the all-time career rushing list with 34-10.
Who's that guy at number 1?
Westbrook.
I think I recognize that name.
Is a finalist and award winner, the Peyton Award winner. In fact, if Robertson gets it, and he is one of 3 finalists for the award that will be announced on December 15th here in Philadelphia, be the only school that will have 3 who have received that such award. Right now, the business at hand, though, is to continue to address this great run of 14 points in 2:05. It's Robertson, Vernon Adams, who stars from Eastern Washington, and Justin Arias, the 3rd quarterback for the Idaho school. This is comparable or identical, I suppose, in the FCS level to the Heisman. And I believe we may already have our Heisman winner. Do we not, after the performance by Oregon last night, or would you weigh in differently?
No, Marcus Mariota has been unbelievable this season. There were a lot of folks out there that thought JT Barrett from Ohio State could have been in the mix and certainly was deserving of what he did, but the injury against Michigan, he's out of the mix, I believe. And I think Marcus Mariota, walks to the podium and gets himself a very heavy trophy.
Last night accounted for 5 touchdowns, 3 rushing, 2 scoring on Oregon's blowout win over Arizona. Goff to kick off, and with the penalty, kicks from midfield, and he sends this one out of the end zone. So that costs Liberty maybe a little bit of territory here, although they can start this drive from the 25. But let's find out what the Flames now are comprised of after leading 13-0 and having Villanova pinned back inside its own 10.
I think if you're Liberty, you still have to be optimistic that you can win this football game. You realize that some costly mistakes have allowed Villanova to get back in the game, but when you look at it and break it down, you take away the big plays and that last turnover on special teams, Liberty has dominated the game. Their defense has shut down Villanova's offense. Their offense has moved at will against this defense. Just do your thing and you'll be right back in the game.
Woodrum trying to do his thing, gets swallowed up. Jackie was up there, number 90, but he might not have been the first to hit him. 88 Reggie Paris, who for the season has 6.5 tackles for losses. This was a no-gainer here, 2nd and 10.
to see if Liberty's going to take a shot against that freshman corner out there, Malik Reeves on the outside again.
Dante Shell's in motion instead of go to pitch back to Abner. And he's running for the first down, and he's got it past the 42. And a pickup of 18 yards for DJ Abner.
And that gets the Liberty Flame crowd back alive as they died momentarily, thinking the momentum was going back to Villanova. That's what you need. There's no way that you could come out on this drive and have a 3-and-out, because Villanova would have smelled blood in the water at that point. That's a big first down right there.
So if you're coordinator Aaron Stammen of Liberty, you're telling you guys, look, we're going to continue to go with what we know best. We're winning the battle on the line of scrimmage. We've just made some mistakes. On 1st and 10. That battle there won by the front four of Villanova. Pickup of 2, 2nd and 8. Timeout situation. Both have 2 remaining here in the first half as we slide under 4 minutes. Good football game. Liberty had the first 3 scores and led 13-0. The Wildcats are now ahead 14-13. Fullback now goes out as a slot receiver. Ball fumbled, and Woodrum's going to be dropped. They lost the football in the other drive, which led to a touchdown by Villanova, and this one is a huge loss of 5 on the play.
I wonder if Josh Woodrum was thinking about what I was thinking about on the outside. He had a matchup that looked like stealing candy from a baby. He had Dante Shells matched up man-to-man coverage against Malik Reeves. And I think he may have just been looking down the field as opposed to looking at the football first. Sometimes these quarterbacks take the little things for granted in just the snap and the shotgun. You take a million of these throughout the season, and of course the football gets a little bit wet, and now Villanova's defense is in a pretty good spot.
You wonder too if weather's been a factor in handling the ball as well. That one hopped in midfield. Brings us to 4th and 13. By the way, John Lunsford will not try to kick a 70-yarder here, even though he's got the leg for it. Liberty will give up the ball. A rejuvenated sidelines. The head coach, Andy Talley, age 71, 30 seasons of coaching Wildcat football. Fielded at the 21. Livers on the return. Brings it back 4 yards. Villanova will start from around its own 25 and a punt of 39 yards. Well, in this game, let's go back to the turning point. It's pretty easy to pick out, Dustin.
Yeah, you had a 13-0 game when that football right there should have been intercepted by Kenny Scott. Instead, he drops it. They come right back the very next play and hit a deep bomb to Gulius on the outside for the longest reception in school history. 87 yards, sets up a John Robertson touchdown right here. He'll run this in himself. They'll make it a 13-7 game. And then the very ensuing kickoff, a fumble by Liberty. And then, of course, Villanova then goes in and scores and takes the lead. What a turnaround.
Wildcats down with 2:37 and 2 timeouts, have the ball from their own 25. Kevin Monangai, the ball carries, a senior from Roseland, New Jersey. 3 100-yard games this year. It'll be tough to get one today, but he did have 3 touchdowns in the win against Delaware. Now if you're Liberty, you're keeping an eye on the scoreboard and the 2 timeouts that you can use. Might use one here if they make a stop on 2nd down. They come with 4. Robertson stepping up. He's going to run the football. Getting to the outside. Livers ahead of him. Midfield. Still with the ball. 40 and out of bounds at the 35. What a weapon he is at quarterback. As he gets an opportunity to run for a first down to get him out of big trouble.
And the difference between Robertson before the injury and now is this. Take a look at this stiff arm right there that allows him to spring for the first down and big gain. Remember, he was playing with a cast on that off throwing arm throughout the course of the season. Now that the cast is gone, he can be back to himself, the consistent runner, making plays like that.
He gets 39 on the play, Dustin. Well, a timeout situation, flips to Villanova. 5 receiver set, Robertson empty backfield. Out of the backfield, throwing, intended for Gulyas, incomplete, second down.
Yeah, there's Jacob Hagan again, coming up from his safety spot with the coverage. This guy's all over the field.
He is. Likely to be all over an NFL field shortly.
I knew coming into the game when we were doing our prep work, studying up, and you look at the numbers, and then I saw he had 8 interceptions, and then I always go look at the size, 6'3", 205. That is the prototype for a safety in the National Football League.
Robertson, 3-step drop. Got rid of the football. They're still going with it, though, and a chance to go to the end zone. It's a fumble on the field, touchdown. Nick Newman. I'm sure we'll have a replay. But in the meantime, Liberty has gone ahead 19-14.
Not sure if this play call is going to stand, Jim, but that is a very uncharacteristic play from John Robertson. You're in the grasp, you're about to go down, you just got to take a sack. The last thing you can have happen as we take a look at this play, he's trying to force it. That's a fumble. That is a fumble that's going to stand at the scoop and score. Nick Newman houses this thing, and boy, what a turn of events we've had in this game. Back and forth.
This is good for 58 yards on the fumble recovery and return.
I don't see any way they overturn that call. Do you, Jim?
No, and you make a good point too. The fact is, he should have gone down.
You got to go down. I mean, this is a Walter Payton Award candidate. He makes all the right decisions. He's only thrown 3 interceptions on the year. He doesn't force plays. He just doesn't make plays like this.
Touchdown, Liberty.
There you go.
19-14 Flames. 4 turnovers in this game. Huge plays on both sides. We'll have a lot of fun recapping this one at the break. And Nick Newman, who once was strong safety for this team, now playing the will linebacker spot, did the right thing, picked it up, scoop and score.
His first career start back in the Richmond game, and they love what he's been doing for this defense.
Flames are going to go for 2 here to try to make it a 7-point advantage. Some people think that's chasing the points early.
What's the book say? Book says no go.
Let's see if they make it work just the same. To the end zone, up in the air, incomplete. So a chance for 2 negated. The book here stands firm. It remains 19-14 Liberty with $1:31 remaining in the first half.
Always split your 8s. Aces and 8s, they say.
It's a blackjack term, right?
That's right.
Okay, just checking.
Yeah.
The fans here are booing, but you still like the call previous that it was a fumble as you look at the incomplete 2-point
it's
try.
the right call, as you see there, just working against the 5'9" corner trying to get your matchup. I like that call on the 2-point conversion. I don't like the call to go for it. I always think you take the points. You never know how the game's going to play out. But yeah, I mean that was a big defensive play for Liberty. I think they needed it. I felt like this game could have gotten out of hand. It could have slipped away from them a little bit. And what a presence of mind by Nick Newman to not only scoop it with the weather. I mean, it's tough to just get your hands on the ball and scoop it, but to then get it into the house and be opportunistic, that is a tremendous play by that young sophomore.
Liberty has 29 takeaways this year. We mentioned the 35 that Villanova's defense has. 19-14 our score. Jim Barber, Dustin Fox. Liberty in its first ever FCS playoff appearance. Beating James Madison last week by 5 and leading in this game by 5. Wildcats still have 2 timeouts remaining in the first half if they choose to use them. Now Villanova will get the ball to start the second half.
Remember, they have a kicker who can kick 85-yard field goals, so they'll try anything to get the football back.
We're talking about Liberty.
Yes.
It goes up 5 yards every time we talk about it.
Why not? It's like Pinocchio.
Short kick and return. Wildcats will have the ball past the 25, in fact, close to the 30 after the pile moves. And again, 2 timeouts to work with. The Flames say the ball's on the floor, and they've got it. No official signal yet. It might be wishful thinking, as Villanova says Iz has the ball. Let's see.
No call from the officials
Yeah,
here.
no reason to believe the Wildcats have got it, as one of the line judges indicates. The ball spotted at the 28.
Take a look at Joe Sarnice on this return.
He stood up there, and the Flames are going for the strip at that point. And
that ball may have been out. I'm sure Liberty wants to challenge this, but they'll go now.
Play action, Robertson stepping up, in trouble, sacked. This time he did hold on to the ball. Brought down at the line of scrimmage. Clock moving, 1:10 remaining first half. This one is not lack for entertainment, that is for sure.
No, it's been a fun one to call. It's been back and forth. You know, Liberty owned the first quarter, and then the better part of the second quarter went all the way back to Villanova because of the turnovers and penalties.
The non-guy dropped at the line of scrimmage. At halftime, we'll look at an Ivy League prank. The FCS championship brackets. We already have some finals in the books in the second round and keys to the second half. And I'll go back to a point you mentioned. Flames are using their timeouts so that Lunsford, John Lunsford, their all-world kicker, who has booted them from 60 yards in a game and allegedly 70 yards in practice.
Remember, he's got a 90-yard leg, so.
You started off as 65, by the way. But
he'll be kicking 150-yard kicks
sure.
by the end of this ball game.
Turner Gill wants to give him a chance.
No, I don't blame him. I mean, you get a stop here. All you're going to need is to pick up probably, maybe 30 yards, and then you're in field goal range for Lunsford.
So you're Andy Talley, head coach of Villanova. You're aware of this. Now you're going to put the ball in the air here.
Yeah. I'm going to try and score points. I'm going to be aggressive.
Cats at their own 29. They need to pick up 9. Out of the backfield, incomplete, and that's going to aid Liberty in a couple of ways. Not the least of which is the clock stops.
And they still remain with their timeout.
Yes, sir.
Their lone timeout, so they can still work the middle of the field here when they get the football back. Remember, you want to make sure you secure this punt first and foremost, but you'll get Josh Woodrum with a timeout and probably 25 seconds or so to work with to try and get Lunsford in range to then make up for that missed 2-point conversion.
John Hinchin is back at his 15. Good line drive kick. Return from inside the 25 by Henderson. So the Flames have a long way to go in 26 seconds off this 48-yard punt and 2-yard return. Here's the other thinking. You've got a 5-point lead. Slippery atmosphere out here because of the rain. Do you take a chance in a game that's been filled with turnovers and big plays?
I look at it from a standpoint of every possession is critical, and you know that Villanova is going to get the ball to start the second half. I'm going to be aggressive here. I'm absolutely going to be aggressive. We talked about some of the matchups on the outside. Keep an eye on this as we go in this drive. The young corners, Malik Reeves and Jason Sinisas, the 5'9" corner who's going to be matched up against the 6'3", 190-pound Darren Peterson. That's where I'm looking to if I'm Liberty. Or just be conservative and run the football.
That was your other option,
okay.
Right? After the ball carrier, clock winding down. That should end the first half.
That was fun.
It was.
It was a fun first half.
Again, Villanova gets the football to start the second half, but the Flames now have the momentum and have returned to a 19-14 advantage. Villanova again with the option to receive the second half kickoff.
At the end of the first half, your score, Liberty 19, Villanova 14.
Rain-drenched crowd. It's been that way from the time we started to kick off at 4:34 this afternoon. Frankly, the front that moved in overnight has thrown a lot of rain on this area at Villanova University and Philadelphia since the early morning hours. Andy Talley's the head coach of the Villanova Wildcats, good enough to join us here in the rain. Andy, let's look back to the first half. You were down 13-0, got a couple of scores to put you back in the football game. What was key at that point for your team?
Well, we just needed to get a touchdown. You know, we had done so many stupid things up to that point. You know, 2 holding penalties, a fumble, and, you know, we've just played poorly the first half. I'm happy we're only down by 5. I mean, we should be up 14-13.
Coach, how much has the weather been a factor for you guys in this first half?
Yeah, it's been a factor. The ball's slick. You know, it's not a clean deal for either team. And, you know, we just have to adjust to it in the second half. But, you know, we're confident we'll be back in this. It's a playoff game. Ebb and flow, back and forth. That's the way it is.
We appreciate your time.
Okay, my pleasure. Thank you.
Andy Talley, the head coach, by the way, fighting for a cause. He is part of the bone marrow donor program. It's been part of his existence here at Villanova. Very special program. Halftime in our NCAA FCS Football Championship second round game. Score at the break, Liberty 19, Villanova 14. We're back with our halftime report right after this. Time is over. Back to work here. Third quarter between Liberty from the Big South, Villanova, CAA. 19-14 Flames who will kick off to the Wildcats. Take a look back at the first half numbers. Villanova dominates in total yards only after a great second quarter. Third down efficiency belongs to Liberty. Time of possession also to the Flames by 3 minutes, and those turnovers have been lethal for both sides.
Well, I think the key there, and I talked about it with the keys to the game, planning for success. Liberty's going to have to dominate the time of possession. They dominated the first quarter, but then Villanova got things going there in the second quarter to allow them to get back in the game.
Andy Talley, the head coach of the Wildcats, who told us at halftime, minus some stupid plays, he's usually pretty accurate with his words and pretty honest with them. So minus some of that, he's played some pretty good football and probably wasn't thrilled with the way Robertson handled the ball, which led to the fumble that was scooped up and returned for score. Matt Goodzak is 31. He'll catch it in the end zone and wisely put a knee down, and so Villanova starts the second half from the 25. Quarterback of the Wildcats, in case you're just joining us, John Robertson. He is a junior from the state of New Jersey. His head coach says, as good as a player as I've ever seen. And Robertson will now try to bring his team from behind.
What's interesting about the first half stats, you take a look at what Robertson has done. He passed for 127 yards, but he only had 4 completions, and one of those completions was 87 yards. If they want to get back and take the lead and win this game, he's going to have to be more consistent with his receivers.
To his receiver on first down, to the flat, and Livers, who catches and runs to the 30-yard line. Poppy Livers, senior out of Seaside, California.
In the last game he played against Delaware, the final game of the season for Villanova, he had over 100 yards in that game.
He's a great slot receiver. They'll move him to the outside as well. They run the jet sweep to the outside. But nothing there. Aaron Wells, the ball carrier, and he is driven out of bounds.
How about the
by
speed?
27, Jacob Hagan.
How about the speed of this defense? Not only the guys in the back end, Jacob Hagan and company in the secondary, but look at 95. Toby Onichi, who leads the team in sacks. He is running sideline to sideline. Speed to me, is completely overmatched in terms of Liberty to Villanova. They're just pretty fast.
Brings up a 3rd and 8 with that tackle for loss. 4-man rush for Robertson, who throws incomplete. Wouldn't have picked up the first down anyway, as he went to the underneath receiver, Kevin Goulias. So the Wildcats, it's 3 and out. Not the way you want to start a second half in a game where you're trailing by a score.
Well, that's the way the game started for Villanova. They had a 3 and out. Look at that, 4 3 and outs on the game. I was talking to some folks from Liberty about their defense, and they said this is like a completely different defense the last 3 ball games as opposed to the first 9, as you get a bad snap here from Villanova.
Hinchin then hits it on a low line drive. Fair caught inside the 30-yard line. So the football now to the Liberty Flames. Just a minute into the 3rd quarter. They draw it up well defensively as they make a 3 and out stop. Going a 19-14 lead. The winner will get Sam Houston State next week in the quarterfinals, and whoever wins this game will be the home team. Think back too that when Liberty scored and went for 2 instead of the extra point, makes this a touchdown difference game, and it could have been 7 or at least 6. Would have been a touchdown as well. It's under a score right now as this throw to the flat. Good to Gabe Henderson. Pick up a 4. We move to 2nd and 6.
Good block on the outside on that play.
Let's take a look at the Liberty drive chart. Dustin, first half, touchdown. They started from the Cats 27, a field goal from their own 43. But since then, they've managed just 19 plays and have picked up only 86 yards. What's the big difference?
I think Villanova's defense is bowed up. They've calmed down a little bit, and they were able to get some stops.
Trying to run the sweep to the outside, and Abner dropped for a huge loss.
Yeah, that's a bad decision by Abner. Once you know that you're caught up, you never want to turn around reverse field late in the down. That is a recipe for disaster. That's what, about a 10-yard loss?
Yeah, -8 actually. Brings us down to 3rd down and a bunch. Have to get the football to the 37. This is 3rd and 14. See what Aaron Stammen, the offensive coordinator, draws up. Woodrum from the gun. Little flare pass, nothing doing for DJ Abner. The Wildcat defense led by Don Cherry, who someday hopes to play in the National Football League, was all over the field there.
Well, he may have a chance one day, but so far he's worried about getting his team to the next level of this tournament. He's playing with his hair on fire. This defense leads the team in tackles, leads the team in sacks, tackles for loss. He's only a junior. When you think about what Billy Crocker's got coming back on that defense, they're happy to have Don Cherry back next year.
Turner's punt will bounce from midfield. It's one of the Wildcats. Flames all over the football, and they're going to get it. Jason Cineas, jolly on the spot, and another Villanova mistake as a Flame is down. 57 is holding his knee. That's Hunter Winstead. Becomes the 3rd Flame to go down, but they're going to get the football.
This is just a lack of awareness play by Jason Cineas, who's playing corner on this play. He's running down the field. See, look, you see Poppy Livers. He's yelling, poison, 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 get away from the football. And then Cineas is just trying to get away and realizes the ball is going to check up and hit him. And then good awareness by Liberty to get on the football. Wow. Think about where they have it. They're going to have the football across midfield in great position to add to their lead.
Well, the first drive of their game, as you remember, it started from the Villanova 27.
Yeah, see, as Poppy Livers waves his hands off, he's saying, poison, 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 get away from it. That's a signal. And look, I've been on a lot of punt returns, and you got to just run to the sideline, get away from the football.
Winstead is a redshirt freshman from Wake Forest, North Carolina. Has been on the ground for some time. Let's take a look at what happened. He, again, is 57 in your picture. And that comes away at the end of the play.
Yeah, not sure what he did there at the end, reaching for his knee, his right knee. It's never a good sign, especially when he's down for this long.
Yeah, he's in great pain right now, and the staff of Liberty is going to have to help him off.
Now here's what's interesting. He's their long snapper.
Yeah. Lucas Holder's the backup, and they're likely going to need to go to him. We have a timeout, 3 minutes in the third quarter, and bad news for the Flames. V Week for Cancer Research on ESPN as we continue our commitment to the V Foundation and Jim Valvano's dream to defeat cancer. V Foundation awards 100% of direct donations and net proceeds of events to fund cancer research. Log on to www.jimmyv.org or call 1-800-4-JIMMY-V to donate. Flames football from the Villanova 45. The average point of possession today has been the 39-yard line for Liberty. On the end-around play, it's Darren Peterson. And Peterson on first down picks up close to 8. Don Cherry, the Mike linebacker, we've called his name enough today, there to make the tackle. Asking Cherry who he admires in the National Football League. He's got a lot of people that he's kept his eye on over the years, but they're mostly linebacker guys. That's not a surprise. He actually visited Penn State's spring football game, was considered by the Nittany Lions. Joe Paterno had a chance to have dinner with him as Liberty picks up the first down, and Cherry still realizing that some of the players at Penn State were bigger than he was. In fact, as it turns out, one of Alabama's star players was being recruited by Penn State at the time and said, I think I might want to play down a level.
And Don Cherry would be the perfect size, strong safety to play the hero spot for that Nittany Lion defense, but nonetheless doing a great job for this Villanova defense. And as we talked about earlier, he was just named Academic All-American this week. Very smart kid.
6th tackle, by the way, in the game for Cherry. 2 tackles for losses. There's 88 Reggie Paris up to meet the running play. Pretty nice stop by Paris, who already has 7.5 tackles for losses, and he gets off the ball quickly here to swallow up DJ Abner.
Yeah, how about him just getting through his B gap there and getting in the backfield, being disruptive. And they need some more of that because Liberty's been very successful on first down, picking up 3, 4, 5 yards and moving the offense, allowing them to get the second and third in manageable.
Harris with his 5th tackle of the game. Quarterback keep and the pitch. And close to the first down marker, off the pitch is Todd Macon. And quarterback Woodrum is down back at the 30.
Not a good sign to see Woodrum go down. I like the play call, that speed option to get the football on the edge on the perimeter to move the chains, but that's not good to see Woodrum getting up limping.
And in fact, he did pick up a first down at the 21-yard line. Or did he? No, they're bringing it back. In fact, I thought he was short too, and the chain gang got a little ahead for Liberty. So it's 3rd and 1.
Going to go a little power football here.
Making the backfield. He's the tailback behind the fullback. Give ahead is the fullback. Valalu carried the football. Line judge came in and said he was short. It would be 4th and less than a yard. What do you do here if you're the Flames?
I think you go for it, even though you've got the weapon of Lunsford to kick. But remember, you just lost your long snapper on that last punt. So do you feel confident going in with your backup long snapper on a somewhat difficult kick on a 4th and 1 situation? They're going to roll the dice.
For the year, the Flames 13 of 20 on 4th down, 65%. Make it 14 of 21 on the quarterback keep by Woodrum. First down inside the Villanova 20-yard line.
That speed option has been so effective for this Liberty offense, especially on the short yardage situations. Remember, they ran that exact same play to the opposite side for the first touchdown of the game for Liberty. And, as we looked at, Woodrum got up a little gingerly after that last play, that last second down play, Looks to be fine right now.
Dustin, Liberty in the red zone for the third time today, has a touchdown and a field goal. Been in the red zone 57 times this year. They have scored 51 times. That's top 10 in the country. Even more significantly, they have 38 touchdowns in those 51 drives inside the zone.
And boy, are they eating up the clock on this drive too.
Which is their MO in second halves of football games, isn't it?
And last week, it's 16 unanswered points to come back against JMU on the road.
Second and 9 from the 17. Woodrum looking to the end zone, incomplete. Malik Reeves, the freshman corner, back defending on the intended receiver, Darren Peterson.
There's that matchup I've been talking about all day. Peterson against the freshman corner, Malik Reeves. You take a look at this. Pretty good coverage on the outside. Ball. Actually, I think they were on a different page. I think Peterson was trying to run that fade stop with that comeback ball to be thrown on your back shoulder, and the football was thrown a little bit further than he anticipated.
Back shoulder throws are tough to defend, aren't
yes, they are. Trust me.
Liberty started the game 2 for 2 on third downs, just 1 of 8 sets. Need to pick up 9. Woodrum flushed out. Looking down the field, stopping, throwing, ball caught. And that should be good enough for a first down. DJ Abner, they released him out of the backfield, makes the catch, and picks up a very important first down for the Flames.
Well, what is typically a very dangerous and cardinal sin, throwing back across your body late in the down, turns out to be a first down in a great play for Liberty's offense. Take a look at the hit here by Don Cherry at the end. Woodrum's going to take a big-time shot, but still is able to deliver the football for a big third down conversion.
First and goal for the Flames from the 8. 10th play of the drive. They had a 17-play drive to get their win last week against James Madison. It's what the Flames do. They start the second half off possessing the football, pick up the important third and, in this case, fourth down conversions, and they maintain a lead and have a chance, I think, to put this game in critical jeopardy for Villanova with another score. And we're talking about a touchdown instead of a field goal.
And Jim, I can speak from a defensive standpoint. When you get in these long drives, it really wears you out. Take a look at some of these defensive linemen after plays. Their hands are on their hips. They're sucking wind. They're tired. They're gassed. Liberty's trying to take advantage of it by lulling them to sleep and getting the football in the end zone.
Ground and pound attack. Mayton trying to find the outside and Macon able to carry to about the 5. And they spot him inside the 5. It'll be second and goal with 6 minutes to go in the third quarter. This drive started at the, make that third and goal. This drive started at the Villanova 45. Turner Gill, third year. Highly successful one as he tries to get Liberty to the third round, the quarterfinals of the FCS championship.
Now, a field goal on this drive is still critical because it would make it an 8-point game. And then you go back to, well, why didn't you just kick the PAT? It'd be a 9-point game if you take a field goal right now.
It's worth mentioning, certainly. From the 5, Woodrum to the end zone, up in the air. Who's going to get it? Still up in the air, incomplete. Looked like Cherry was going to get it first.
And those plays are so difficult when the ball is bouncing up in the air, and as a defensive player, you just try to go up in high point. And that's what Don Cherry's going to do here. He's going to go up at his highest point and just try and snag it out of the air. But then it's hard to see who comes in there. I think it was the tight end Dexter Herman. Yeah, Dexter Herman comes in and dislodges that football from Don Cherry. And boy, Liberty gets a break.
And will still have the ball and can attempt a 21-yard field goal by John Lunsford. Ball down, kick on the way, and Lunsford now is 3 for 3 in this game. 19 of 24 for the season as he converts from 21 yards out. Still a one-touchdown, two-point conversion game with 5:22 to go in the third. Pleasure to have you with us today. Highly competitive game in this second round of the FCS Championship. Last week, Liberty over James Madison in its first appearance in the NCAA FCS Championship. Josh Woodrum, Dexter Herman with Liberty down 21-20, combined for 26 yards. Nicky Falah puts him ahead on the second effort. That happens with 2:53 left in the game. A 17-play, 85-yard drive that wins it 16 unanswered points. The Liberty first FCS playoff appearance and first win. And as we visit the Northwestern Mutual Planning for Success, let's talk about factors in this game. Time of possession, you talked about at the beginning, partner. It has been significant.
It was a very overwhelming stat at the end of the first quarter. Liberty had about 10 minutes to about 5 minutes, and then, of course, Villanova came back. But early in this third quarter, dominating performance by Liberty in that last drive to get the field goal.
But Villanova did hold Liberty to that field goal, and because Liberty went for two and failed in the first half, it's still a one-score plus a two-point conversion game when it could be two scores.
Yeah, it could be a 9-point game.
Good Zach deep. He'll return from the 5. Straight ahead momentum, 20, and he'll be brought down after a return of roughly 17 yards. Still, you think about Liberty's defense and how it has been against John Robertson, who has had his way this season, coming in with 34 touchdown passes, just 3 picks. And they have neutralized him and his rushing abilities minus 1 play.
Well, when you're able to keep the best player on the field off the field, that's kind of the goal of what Liberty's trying to do. You talk about the planning for success and all that, time of possession, that's exactly what it is. You want to keep their Walter Payton Award candidate on the sidelines. In the second half, he's had 3 plays.
Let's see if he can get Poppy Livers into the game. His outstanding wide receivers flanked to the left, along with Kevin Goulias. Robertson from a familiar spot, the gun. Throwing to the flat. Ball caught. It's Livers, first down. Or close to it. Yeah, they'll mark him at a pickup of 10. And they, I think, try to find some opportunities for Livers, who's got probably the best speed on this team.
I think that would be a wise move if you're Villanova. He's your go-to receiver, had 100 yards against Delaware, their final game of the season. And he plays that slot position. He has 8 touchdowns on the year. Clearly their go-to guy. They got to find a way to get him involved.
At the 33-yard line, Robertson stepping up from pressure and throw. He's got a man wide open. Wow. It's Austin Medley, who was released from the backfield, and he was all by himself.
Wow, this one is gonna hurt for Villanova. He may walk into the end zone on this. And sometimes those ones are the easy ones, or the hardest ones to catch. Boy, hit him in a bad spot, didn't it?
The hands.
Yeah.
2nd and 10. To the ground on the zone read. 1 tackle broken and 8 yards for Kevin Monangai. Sets up a 3rd and short.
Yeah, but that's the key now. Think about it. You have not been very successful on 3rd down today. Now you've got a 3rd and 2. Okay, so you give the football to Monangai or you run it with Robertson. You got to move the chains. You got to find a way to get something positive going. You cannot right now in this point in the ball game give the football back to Liberty. They will just eat you alive with the dink and dunk running game and passing game with the time of possession battle.
Robertson on the rollout. Throwing for the first down's got it. Livers flanked on this side of the field. First down catch and run to the 48-yard line. And they'll move the chains as we are at an even 4 minutes for the third quarter. The game now, John Robertson, 6 of 15. That's a unlike Robertson performance, wouldn't you say?
Doesn't have to be pretty. You just got to find ways to win ball games in the playoffs. And I think Andy Talley, who's been to many playoff games, including winning a national championship, will tell you he'll take an ugly win any day.
End-around activity for Livers. He's not going anywhere, though. He is stuffed behind the line of scrimmage at the 45.
You know, early in the game, I believe it was Liberty ran a reverse, kind of wanted to do a reverse pass, excuse me, when they finally got the chains moved. Well, I'm questioning why Villanova now wants to go to some trickeration here on first down when they clearly have got something going with the running game, the short, quick passes to Poppy Livers out in the flat. And now they're in a tough spot here, 2nd and 14.
As you saw by the graphic, each team now with 7 tackles for losses. Robertson, little hitch, throwing a man wide open, and a receiver drops the football. This time Aaron Wells can't come up with it. So you start to wonder about the rain here, and the cold has set in on a couple of very catchable balls.
I think you bring up a good point, Jim. The weather is becoming a factor. Look at this. This is just got to look that in. I mean, it goes right off his hands. That should be an easy first down catch for Aaron Wells. But the bigger point you bring up is how cold the game is. These teams don't have heaters on the sidelines right now. It is extremely cold down there on the field.
Robertson avoids the blitz. Will not get the first down. Could have been bigger trouble for him as he picked up the delayed blitz from Liberty. Is able to get the ball in midfield, and that's where Villanova will give up the ball.
Villanova just having a tough time getting past midfield today. And now you look, the clock becomes Liberty's friend. 2 minutes to go, 2.5 minutes to go here in the third quarter. You know, if they get another 17-play drive, we're talking about Villanova maybe only having 1 or 2 possessions in the game, as crazy as that sounds.
Yeah, it'd be game, set, and match if that happens. Liberty will start from its own 20. Consider this, coming in, Villanova was 49% on third down. Today, the Wildcats are just 2 for 8. 2:24 remains, third quarter. Time for us to step aside. A Lunsford 21-yard field goal, the only scoring to this point in the second half. Jim Barber, Dustin Fox. What's at stake? A lot. The winner gets to the quarterfinals next week in a matchup with Sam Houston State, which beat Jacksonville State on the road today, 37-26. White uniforms belong to the Flames, who have 1st and 10 from their own 20. Lots of ebb and flow to this game. The Flames led 13-0. The Wildcats got the next 2 scores to go ahead 14-13. Then Liberty got a touchdown, missed a 2-pointer to make it 19-14, and then a Lunsford field goal here in the second half. A busy day for 88 to Reggie Paris. Andy Talley's team trying to move on. He was disappointed to know we'd have plenty of weather today. He was hoping for a clean game for both sides. On second down, Lunsford. Quick hitter, Dante Shells. And Shells picks up the first down for the Flames. Pickup of 8. So here come the Flames and their ball control, ball hawking offense, where they can nickel and dime you and use that clock.
They could use about a 17-play drive here and chew off about 10 minutes and try and put this thing away. But first, they got to worry about just moving the chains and trying to add to this point total because it's still a 1-score game.
Woodrum to throw. Ball caught midfield. Great catch, Darren Peterson. Good for 19 yards and a Liberty first down.
Yeah, so much for being conservative. How about this throw? A little bit behind Darren Peterson, but he goes up working on the safety. Joe Sarnice hauls it in and got the Flames on the move.
I think about it, too, at the leg of John Lunsford. Another field goal gives them a 2-score advantage, and he can kick from just about anywhere in the field. At the Wildcat 49. Abner slips and falls, no gain on the play. This type of turf, it's been certainly good enough for people to play on and run their patterns, but slipperiness comes with the possession of the ball. In the second round today, Sam Houston State did all the scoring in the second half to win 37-26. Jared Johnson, threw for 3 scores. Coastal Carolina got the first 3 scores of the game to beat Richmond 36-15. North Dakota State, batting against its biggest rival, came back and won 27-24 at the Fargo Dome today.
The play clock matches up with the game clock right now, and they're going to just say, hey, we'll take it to the fourth quarter. Put up your 4s and let's keep it going.
Who heads to round 3 in the quarterfinals? Is it Turner Gill or is it Andy Talley? This game's been up in the air just like the football. 22-14 as we head to the all-important fourth quarter. Welcome back. NCAA FCS Football Championship is presented by Northwestern Mutual. On to the fourth quarter we go in a 22-14 game, and right now play is being reviewed as to whether the game clock and the play clock were actually synced up. Turnovers have been a big factor in this game, and actually begins here with a simple running play and a strip.
Yeah, Liberty's come up with 3 turnovers in this game, big turnovers. This one is very uncharacteristic. John Robertson tries to make something happen, and this turns into a scoop and score. And in this one, just a lack of awareness by Vanderbilt. Got to get away from that football. They're yelling poison out there on the field. Liberty with Johnny on the spot.
Official ruling, by the way, is the play was not reviewable, as the turnover story has resulted in 12 Liberty points and 7 for Villanova. As we start the fourth, football to Villanova 49. It is 2nd and 10. Josh Woodrum is the quarterback. Parker in motion. Running play, another tackle for loss. Ed Shockley once again up to make the stop. 8 stops behind the original line of scrimmage.
Well, we knew Ed Shockley was going to play a little bit more than he usually does coming into this game. True freshman from Millville, New Jersey. Got great instincts, as Coach Crocker was telling me earlier in the week. That's something that's hard to teach, and he's got it. Got a knack to find the football.
Let's see how the Wildcats defend this. They've got 4 on the line of scrimmage. Sending 5, dropping 6 in coverage. A little screen to Abnar, but nowhere to go. Interesting, they would run that play to the short side of the field.
Interesting call just in general. It seemed like they weren't trying to get the football down the field. Kind of conservative. And you think right now, I'm just trying to get inside Turner Gill's mind and what he's thinking. You got the weather, you got an 8-point lead, you got the ball at midfield. The last thing you'd want to do if you tried to force something over the middle of the field there, turnover, right? So now you have a chance here to pin them deep. Oh boy, almost blocked.
Headed to Livers, who will let it go into the end zone. So the football to the 20-yard line. A punt of 52 yards and obviously no return. Well, the other thing behind this is that Villanova has not mounted much of a scoring drive today. They've been the beneficiary of Liberty mistakes. As we take a look at the brackets, we know this much. Our winners today are Sam Houston State on the road and Coastal Carolina and North Dakota State at home. Next week in the third round, that should be terrific. North Dakota State matching up with Coastal Carolina. New Hampshire won easily today, so did Chattanooga. Illinois State by 3 scores, facing the winner of Montana and Eastern Washington, still going on in the Great Northwest. 1st and 10 for Robertson and company, trying to get the game-tying score. Monangai carrying the football out of bounds and past the 25. Saw your hands go up. Do you think there was a hold there?
I think that Brad Seaton absolutely got away with the takedown on the outside, playing the left tackle spot, allowing Monangai to get outside, but Robertson just needs 1 more yard.
Monangai carries the football. And it's good enough for a first down. 13:43 left in the fourth quarter. Robertson tied with Chris Bowden for the all-time career total offensive leadership.
Think he'll get that yard?
I don't know.
He may add 5,000 more yards to that total.
Yeah. Injured player right now for the Flames, and they've had several go down today. That is 52. Chima Uzwei, who plays at the right end spot. We'll check on Chima. He's a big-time player for them in a moment. We are early into the fourth quarter in our game presented by Northwestern Mutual. Dustin Fox, who is part of a Buckeye National Championship, the last one the Big Ten has secured in college football, dating back to the early part of the 2000 decade. Robertson faking the end around and going vertical down the field. That ball is caught, and that could go for a touchdown. Gulyas headed to the end zone. He will score. He has become their home run hitter.
Just when their offense can't get anything going, John Robertson's able to find Kevin Gulyas for a big-time play. And here again, they fake the jet sweep, and he's looking deep down the field. He's not even looking. He's just taking a shot. He's saying, hey, Gulyas, go make a play. And then Kenny Scott, that's the second bad play Kenny Scott's had in this ballgame. Dropped the interception earlier, and right there, you may not make the play on the football, but you got to make a tackle. You got to get him down and make him take another snap. And now, because of that play earlier, they're going to go for two.
This would tie the game. Robertson stepping up. He'll try to run for it. Can he get there? He is in. 2-point conversion. Game tied.
Well, that's exactly why early in the game, Liberty should have just kicked the PAT. They'd have a 1-point lead right now. A lot of time left in this ball game. Not to jump to conclusions. But because of that fact, now we've got a tie game, 22-all. Take a look at Robertson here in the 2-point conversion. This is what he does. This is why he's a Walter Payton Award candidate. Makes the play happen with his feet and just shows effort and toughness. Nothing going. They're trying to get a throwback to the tight end. He's not open, double covered by Liberty, and he just fights his way into the end zone. Tie this game up.
His teammate Don Cherry says he sees that a lot in practice, those great individual efforts, and he says he's just got this motion with his hips. His hips kind of go one way, the defender goes the other way, and he's able to do something very special as he did there. He is now the all-time yardage career leader for Villanova with 10,216. And more importantly on that play, the 2-point conversion that allows them to tie the game. I asked Don Cherry yesterday, too, in practice, do you get to hitting? He says, no, and it really ticked me off. He said, we'll talk about it. He says, there'll be some plays where I've got them, but you can't hit the quarterback during practice. So.
Red jersey on the quarterbacks now.
The winner moves on to the quarterfinals against Sam Houston State. This is a good one here. Still very much undecided. Each team has 3 timeouts remaining in this fourth quarter. Flames will have the football from their own 27. Feels at times that Liberty has really dominated this game, and yet here we are on a tie score because Kevin Gulyas and quarterback John Robertson have teamed up on 2 monster plays. This is early in the game. This one good for 87 yards that set up a score as he was able to break away from the defender and carry this one inside the 10-yard line. And then he comes back with a 70-yard reception, and this goes for 6. He beats Scott on the play. Add the 2-point conversion run by Robertson. We're even.
Gulyas now with 9 touchdowns on the season.
Across the middle, Woodrum, intended receiver, can't get it at the 47-yard line. That was for the tight end, Dexter Herman, who had a big reception last week in the highlights we showed you versus James Madison.
Well, now we'll find out what Liberty has. Can they continue to take the body blows from Villanova. It has been a 12-round fight, and I feel like we're getting close to the end here. Who's going to find a way to make a big play and win this game?
And Liberty has a splendid kicker in John Lunsford, who has a big-time leg. Abner dropped behind the line of scrimmage. That'll get this Villanova crowd even more amped up for third down.
Yeah, big Pat Williams in the middle of that defense. He's playing a little bit banged up. You see he's got the knee brace on. He's kind of pieced together right now, but he's not going to miss a playoff game.
What a great story he is, going from homeless to now a man who's going to pick up his degree in May.
What a story.
Mom had cancer, had to go live with other family members. One of the former Villanova running backs caught on with him as his mom recovered from cancer, got him out of a tough neighborhood, sent him here, and they think one day he'll be president of the company. Little screen pass trying to get out of trouble, but on third down, Liberty way short of the first down. And so Villanova's going to get the ball back in a tie score.
Now, something to keep an eye on in this punt, Jim, is the long snapper. The last punt was nearly blocked by Ed Shockley off the edge because it was a high snap. Remember, the starting long snapper, Hunter Widstead, got hurt earlier in this second half.
And this is Lucas Holder doing the snapping now.
So big number 70 is going to go in there, the backup snapper. We'll see if they can get a good snap.
This one is perfect to Trey Turner. Turner low line drive kick. Good field position coming up for the Wildcats from their own 37-yard line. Punt of just 33 yards. You wonder how much the wind and rain affected that.
Well, what's interesting about that is, you know, nobody has decided to try a rugby-style kick today. And the wind has just picked up a little bit, but it's at the back of Liberty. You'd think that, hey, if anything, you'd take a shot and just let it ride, you know, let it go. But they decided to do a rugby-style kick. I wonder if it's because they wanted to overload the protection because of the last kick was nearly blocked.
Good point, and likely the reason they did it. Robertson calls his own number for a couple of yards. John Robertson, just a junior. His favorite player, well, if you base it on the way he ran the two-point run, it's an easy answer in the NFL. It's Russell Wilson of the Seattle Seahawks. Starred for the Wisconsin Badgers, North Carolina State Wolfpack, and he loves the way Wilson runs with the ball.
And talking to Turner Gill this week, he said the really great thing that John Robertson does is that he's so good after the snap. He knows where to go with the football. We're talking about when he has the ball in his hands, he makes smart decisions. And we've seen some of that here in the second half.
2nd and 8, Robertson stepping up and throwing longs, got a receiver, and broken up at the last minute by 14, Kenny Scott. That was intended for who else? Kevin Goulias.
Now,
by the way, I mentioned Russell Wilson. He is here tomorrow as Seattle takes on Philadelphia. I wonder if Mr. Robertson will find his way to the stadium in Lincoln Financial to get a load of his hero.
Take a look at Kenny Scott there on the coverage on the outside. He's the best cover corner that Liberty has. And in fact, Turner Gill told us this week that he'll bird dog the best receiver of the opposing team. He'll follow him all over the field if they've got a pretty good one. And there you saw him on Kevin Goulias.
3rd and 8 in the second half that's seen no penalties. Robertson with time. Now flushed out. He's going to run for a first down. He's got it and more. 50, 40. Robertson still with a football, sliding down at the 36.
That's why John Robertson is so dangerous, and a very dangerous call by Liberty's defense because they get caught in man coverage. All the cornerbacks' backs are to the back of John Robertson. So what happens here is the only guy left to chase him down is Toby Onichi. Well, he's 6'2", 270. He can't keep up with Robertson. That's an easy first down run for the quarterback.
Wildcats don't have the big leg for a field goal kick, so they might have to think touchdown more than anything else here as they operate from the 36. Quarterback keeper Robertson, and near the chains again. Ball loose, it's on the floor. Who's got it?
Well, Liberty's got the football, but I'm not so sure that Robertson wasn't down. We'll have to take another look at this. But it was Jacob Hagan who comes in at the end of this play, I believe.
Initial hit, leg down.
It's hard to tell. Was the ball coming out when he was going down?
Of course, that's under review right now. It would be the 4th turnover if it stands. Boy, it seems like the ball comes out after he's down.
Yeah, that's what I thought initially.
Recovered by Liberty. The play is under review.
This will easily be the most important review of the game.
Jim, my initial reaction is that he's down by contact. This may be the best angle. Take a look.
Takes irreversible evidence. Let's see, knee down, but can you tell if the ball's out there or not?
Can't see the ball from that angle.
The other angle that we saw looked as if the ball was still being contained by Robertson as he hit the ground.
He definitely loses the football right there.
It's ruled a turnover, and unless there's indisputable video evidence to overturn, it will remain a turnover, which will be the 4th of the game for the home team.
Right there, you can clearly see that his knee is down, but you can't visibly see if he has the ball or not. My gut tells me they reverse it, but it's hard. It's so difficult to get a good look at it here. What do you think, Jim? There you go. Wow. And that's how these things go. And you love replay, but sometimes it's so difficult to see where the knee is, where the football is. And remember, they ruled it on the field a fumble, so that's a break for Liberty.
Michael Davis is the referee, and his crew have done a terrific job today, but he actually signaled the other way. And Villanova ball, but in fact it is actually Liberty ball from the 27-yard line. He got it straight. We're ready to go. Keep in mind that field goal kicker John Lunsford,
he's good from 75
in practice.
He's got a heck of a leg kick. He's kicked a 60-yarder this season, had a 56-yarder last week against JMU.
And he's got the win at his back at this point, right?
Yes, he does.
Of course, he also has to battle the elements in terms of the rain. Liberty would love to put together one of those, as you mentioned earlier, 17-play, end-of-the-game drives to win it and not get the ball back in the hands of John Robertson. The Flames have had trouble converting on 3rd down. Right now it's 2nd and 8. To the flat, ball caught, shy of the 1st down, a pickup of 7 on the reception by Dante Shells.
And I think they wanted Dante Shells to run that route about a yard deeper. They call it a stick route. You go right to the stick, you sit down, and he comes up about a yard short of the 1st down. Still, great position for Liberty, 3rd and 1. I think they go back to the speed option,
which has been a very effective call. By the way, if Lunsford does get into field goal range, they have the backup long snapper Lucas Holder, replacing Hunter Winstead, who was shaken up earlier in the game. Just 4 for 14 on 3rd down for the Flames, who on the season
empty set here.
Have been at 42%. 8 in the box for Villanova. Woodrum and man coverage, incomplete. Broken up by Malik Reeves, the freshman corner. So it is 4th and 1, and the Flames will punt.
Scratching my head a little bit of that call.
Which means you didn't like it.
Well, I like the call if you're going to go for it on 4th down. Because on 3rd down, it means it doesn't matter. You take a shot, you try and get a mismatch on the outside, man coverage, maybe get a penalty. But now you're going to punt it on 4th and 1. Interesting call.
High snap, punt to Joe Sarnice. This one better than the last one. Sarnice with the catch. Fair catch at the 16. This one good for 48 yards. Who's going to win it and move on to the quarterfinals? Game, Liberty had a 19-14 lead. Conventional wisdom is kick the extra point after a score. They went for 2 to try to make it a 7-point advantage and failed. You think that was a turning point?
I think it was a big turning point because you'd have a 1-point lead right now in this game, and it'd be a much different type of mindset for both teams, to be honest with you. But now we've got a tie ball game, Villanova with the football back and trying to win the game.
Monangai bouncing to the outside and near the chains. Kevin Monangai, who weighs in at 5'8", 209. Good misdirection runner. For his career, over 4,500 yards. Gets 9 on that play. 2nd and 1. Robertson to carry the football to the outside. Robertson, first down. John Robertson, who has had much more successful second and third quarters and now fourth than he did in the first, when Villanova's offense was brought to a standstill. Spotted at the 32, fresh set of downs for the Wildcats. They have kicked only 4 field goals this year. All have been short distances, so you have to think that they're going to try one. They've got to get close to the goal line.
Interesting coming into the game. Sam Venuto, offensive coordinator, said they usually want to get about 5 to 6 design quarterback runs for John Robertson. Today, a lot more than that because of the field conditions and, of course, the weather.
Let's speak to the weather, this driving rain and cold. Have you played in it before, and what is it like?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, this game reminds me a lot of a game I played back in, I think, 07. I was playing for the Buffalo Bills, and we were playing the New York Giants, and it was about 38 degrees in Buffalo. And this is worse than snow because your uniforms get wet. You never get a chance to get warm. It's tough to play in.
Monangai. First down for the Wildcats. They're moving the chains, and they're taking a page out of the Liberty book, which is run the football, use the clock, and try to get in position to win it at the end. Andy Talley, longtime head coach of the Wildcats, anticipated the rain today, was not looking forward to it. This team, though, is in position to advance. This time Medley, who has a touchdown in this game, and he picks up 5, maybe 6 on first down. In fact, they'll spot him even a more generous yard. It'll be 2nd and 3.
And right now, Villanova's found something by getting the ball on the edge. Now, they've struggled rushing against the big guys up front of Liberty's defensive line, Deron Green and Nico Davis and company. Well, right now, they're getting the ball in space on the outside, getting some good blocks by the receivers down the field, putting them in great situations on 2nd and 3rd down.
95, Steve Weiler on the sidelines has got the big leg for Villanova if they attempt a medium range to long range field goal. Right now, what I'd like to do is continue to pick up first downs and get close to the goal line, and either chip it in with a 3-pointer or win it with a touchdown.
4-down territory here, I'd imagine, if you're Villanova. 3rd and 1 coming up, but really no use in punting at this point. You're trying to pick the football, 4th down up. You got 2 plays here to get 1 yard.
You take a shot here or run for that first down?
I'm running it with Robertson, but that's what I'm doing.
You know their playbook. First down, Villanova to the 40. Wildcats now 4 for 10 on 3rd downs as we are under 6 minutes for the 4th quarter. Spotted at the 41.
And this is where things get interesting. As the clock just continues to tick, Villanova doesn't have a kicker they trust. So they're looking to score a touchdown here.
This is Villanova's longest drive of the game, Dustin. 8th play. Monangai, and they're starting to rip off yards on first down. As he picks up 6, it'll be 2nd and 4. The football now at the 35. All 3 timeouts remain for both teams. And plenty at stake, a chance to move on to the quarterfinals of this year's FCS championship.
And right now, I don't think Villanova's even thinking about putting the football in the air, risking turnover where they're at on the field.
Plenty of time on the play clock. Zone read again. Monangai, first down, and that zone read has been really effective for the Wildcats here in the second half. In that zone read, you have such a threat because you know if Robertson keeps the football, you got to try to find a way to bring him down.
And I think Robertson's much more comfortable running the zone read now that he has that cast off his off throwing hand, because he can really get that football in and disguise it for the defense.
All runs on this drive. Play number 9 coming up. Kevin Monangai, 16 carries, 91 yards. It's been a dose of Monangai followed by a dose of Robertson on the ground.
And I don't blame Andy Talley right now because it's working. 10 runs now on this drive. And I'd expect 11 to be coming up right now.
Right now it would be a 42-yarder for more than likely Steve Weiler to kick if this drive stalls. 4 minutes left. Robertson near 100 yards as well, along with Monangai. Back to the ground. Monangai straight ahead, breaks a tackle. Still going with the football, and very close to a first down.
They are beating Liberty at their own game right now.
And he's got it.
Killing the clock. Moving the chains.
You are exactly right. Football at the 17, and Liberty now must start to think about using its timeouts. Even though Villanova does not have the type of confidence in its kicking, it right now is in position to go ahead with a field goal.
So this is where experience really comes to help Villanova.
Monangai making a man miss for a moment, but then brought down after a short gain on first down, and now Turner Gill will use one of his 3 timeouts remaining.
And I think not only do they need to use the timeout to stop the clock, Jim, but I think Liberty needs a blow. I think they need to go to the sidelines. I think they need to regroup with defensive coordinator Robert Wimberly and talk about what they got to do to get a stop. Because right now their hands are on their hips, they're winded, and they got 2 plays here to get a stop and try and force Villanova to make a tough decision whether or not they're going to kick a field goal or not.
Which I suppose is only fitting, given the fact that Liberty has done that to its opponents the last few weeks. Namely, possess the football late in the game, march for a winning score, and tire out the defense.
Taste of your own medicine. How do you like it?
Yeah. Flames have 2 timeouts remaining. It'll be a 2nd and 6 for Villanova. From the Liberty 13-yard line, the winner moves on to face Sam Houston State. How about the play call here for Sam Venuto on 2nd down? More of the same, run the football?
I don't think there's any doubt about it, Jim. I think it's worked, it's got you here. And on 2nd down, you want to try and pick up 3 to 4 yards. You want to make a 3rd manageable.
Robertson with a look to the sidelines and the snap and the keep on a quarterback draw. Robertson inside the 10-yard line, where Liberty will use another timeout. Now, by using the timeouts, that means your defense has to make a stand here on 3rd down. It'll be 3rd and 2, because if Villanova picks up the first down, they can run this clock down to seconds remaining to kick a game winner, which would be like an extra point.
How ironic would it be if Villanova did come up with a game-winning field goal in this game? We talked about it in the open. We talked about it planning for success. The coaching staff was so concerned about that position. In fact, they may even go with a different kicker today.
Well, Andy Talley was telling us during the week, hey, our kicking game is terrible.
Yeah.
We've missed a lot of extra points this year. We've missed field goals. We've been going back and forth between kickers.
It could be 12-0 if they had a kicker they trusted.
Yeah. And yet today, Chris Goff has hit 2 extra points, and he has nailed both of them, and he may be called upon to win the game. So it's a huge play on both sides, particularly for that Liberty defense. 3rd and 2. Here we go. Snap to Robertson with the football, trying to run wide. Can he get there? He may be short. We'll see where the mark is. Or did he get it?
I think he's just a little bit short.
He will be short.
There's no way Villanova's kicking this, are they?
4th and 1. Will be a kick of roughly 25 yards into the elements. It's a well-designed play, but a great tackle there by Justin Guillory from his field corner boundary spot.
I bet you if you asked Andy Talley, what do you trust more, running Robertson for a yard or kicking a field goal?
Winner to face Sam Houston State. 37-26 winner. By the way, Chris Goff is down about the 35-yard line practicing with an imaginary football right now. Now he is going to the sidelines, but I don't think they're calling his number here. Quarterfinals next week, December 12th and 13th on the ESPN networks.
The kickers always go on the field to put the pressure on the coach.
Sure.
Coach, I'm ready. I got this. Now go back to the sidelines. We'll go with our Walter Payton Award candidate on 4th and 1.
Biggest play of the football game with 2:42 left. Monangai says he has it. And now Liberty, without timeouts in this football game, will have to play defense. You know, one thing you would consider if you were Liberty, if you knew Villanova could kick a field goal, is you might let them score a touchdown so you get the ball back.
I was just thinking the exact same thing. You know, you never want to do that. It's almost like surrendering by letting a team score, but depends how much time they run off the clock. But yeah, you may have to consider that, absolutely.
Snap to Robertson. Monangai straight ahead and close to the goal line. Well, now you're calling out your defense to make 3 consecutive stops from the 2-yard line. They're going to go quickly. Monangai straight ahead. Short with 1:53 left. It is 3rd and goal.
I'm wondering why Villanova decided to go hurry up on that play.
I am too.
I know they're trying to catch him off guard and just get in the end zone, but I mean, you allowed Liberty probably 40 seconds of clock here when they get the football back. They're going to get the football back at some point.
90 seconds left and 15 on the play clock. This drive started with 8:23 left in the game. Back to the Villanova 16. Now play clock at 7. Football at the 1. This for the lead. Robertson to the end zone. Touchdown!
Now this is a big PAT. Very big extra point coming here for Goff, probably the biggest of his career.
For the season, 25 of 27. He has not had an extra point problem. Field goals have been his issue. He's nailed the 2 previous. Snap, ball down, kick on the way. Got it. So Liberty, even without timeout, still has the ball back, as you said would happen, and still time enough left as Robertson gives Villanova a lead. And will this be the game-winning touchdown? Off left in regulation. Liberty has 0 timeouts remaining. It does have a 72-yard kickoff return. But moments ago, John Robertson, in a short touchdown run, put his team ahead. Touchdown drives today of 84, 16, 80, and 84 yards. And this last drive was very Liberty-like. 18 rushing plays, no pass, 7-11 used up on the clock.
Yeah, they were going at Liberty with their own medicine. Last week, it was Liberty with the 17-play, 85-yard drive against JMU to get that win. Now, Liberty going to be forced to be put in a difficult situation. Only 1:12 to go. And they got to go the length of the field.
Alfred Jallo's got to run up on this one. Going to try to get to the football and slips at the 10-yard line. They must go the distance and kick an extra point to tie this game. Well, actually, mark it, excuse me, at the 14-yard line. The winner faces Sam Houston State in a game today with Jacksonville State, in which 50 points were scored in the first half and just a touchdown and field goal in the second. Josh Woodrum has got to go a long way.
keep an eye on these young corners on the outside. They haven't really been tested all that much today. But now you've got a freshman corner matched up against the best receiver, Darren Peterson, here at the bottom of your screen. Keep an eye on that.
See how Billy Crocker defends it. They're giving the open part of that field on his first down catch. Right now, Liberty is saying, let's get back to the line of scrimmage. Clock continues to run. They did not stop the clock.
Yeah, the clock should have stopped on the first down. They're going to put about 8 more seconds back on the clock.
Yeah, and in fact, the Liberty coaches were coming on the field, and line judge says, hold on, we'll get this straightened out. So it should be about a minute left. It's going to allow Liberty at this point to get up to the line of scrimmage and run a play quickly. It's almost like a pseudo timeout here.
They should put another about 10 seconds back on the clock.
Here's Michael Davis.
The result of the play was a first down. Please set the game clock to 1 minute and 6 seconds. 106.
Wow. About 13 seconds.
How about
That's
that?
huge.
That is huge.
It's like 2 plays.
And they benefit from the clock being stopped. Now they can get their play in. It's almost like a little free timeout here mid-game.
Clock starts moving again as we're down to 1 minute left in the game. Woodrum off the low snap. Incomplete. I don't think that would have gained much anyway. And more importantly, the catch would have been in play.
Yeah, that's better off that that one goes incomplete. You're right, Jim. That stops the clock and allows them to regroup and try and get something down the field, or at least near the sideline. I'm still keeping an eye on this matchup. I don't know why they're not looking down here below with Peterson against Reeves.
Woodrum is going to be sacked.
You got to hurry up.
Continues to run, yes. The 11th tackle for loss, this one by Pat Williams.
Nobody up top on this receiver.
.35 seconds to go. Woodrum throwing down the field, nearly picked off, and he's down to 1 play. There's Nick Cherry from his middle linebacker spot defending. So for Liberty, it comes down to this. Must get the ball to the 35-yard line. Everybody on the Villanova sideline standing. In a driving rain. Woodrum throwing, he's got a receiver, ball caught, first down and a flag. Catch by Gabe Henderson. We await the call.
I think you're going to get defensive holding on Villanova, which will, of course, be declined. But now the clock is your enemy. You've still got to go 65 yards, 64 yards, and you only have 26 seconds.
Holding, number 6 on the defense. That penalty's declined. Result of the play, first down.
First penalty flag, Dustin, of the second half.
I'm thinking about clocking this possibly right now, because the clock's going to start on ready for play right now.
Just lost 4 or 5 seconds. Under 20 left, and that one tipped to the line of scrimmage.
Now that's why you clock it. You'd have had an extra 8 seconds here. You could have regrouped. You could have went back to your huddle, got the right play call in. Now you're forced to lose 8 seconds, and you still have what? An incomplete pass. Second down.
Got to take a shot down the field, don't you?
Absolutely. And then you got to hurry up and clock it.
One benefit you would get with a first down is the clock stopping. But you're down to 17. 4-man rush, Woodrum up in the air, throwing down the field, incomplete. In a double coverage. But not many options open at this point. Intended for Dante Shells.
Well, at this point, you need to try to get something out near midfield and hurry up. You got to get a first down, of course, but then you've got to clock it and allow yourself one final heave to the end zone. We know Woodrum's got a strong enough arm to get it there, but not from here. They need to pick up about another 15 yards.
Woodrum over the middle has got the first down.
You got to clock it.
Tight end goes down at the 49 with 5 seconds to go. Well, here will come the clock play. And before that happens, Michael Davis and Officials will gather. Actually, he got the play off. We're down to 4. 1 play left, barring a defensive penalty.
Well, did you see the UCF game the other night?
They
Against
did.
East Carolina, the final play of that. Hail Mary was completed. UCF wins the game on the last play.
Right now, Villanova has 2 center fielders, 3 center fielders back.
If you're Villanova, you got to knock the football down.
Ball game right here. Woodrum stepping up and throwing long to the end zone. Game over. Villanova wins. From 2 touchdowns back, the Wildcats rally and will head to the quarterfinals versus Sam Houston State. And that man, John Robertson, 317 yards, 3 scores, a 2-point conversion. Kevin Monangai, 20 rushes for 102. Kevin Goulias, 2 catches, his 2 catches for the whole day. 157 and a touchdown.
It's amazing. You know, Robertson was just 4 of 11 at halftime. He's a different player in the second half. He was the difference maker. He was what led the charge. We knew that this team would go as Robertson went. And boy, did he have a great second half. The 18-play drive, of course, was a big part of it. But I think, Jim, what ultimately helped Villanova here was experience. They've been here. You know, their quarterback's been here. Their coach has been here many times. That's a national championship coach, and Andy Talley. Now Villanova is going to move on. Liberty had a shot. Final play of the game. Take a look. Hail Mary. Woodrum's able to get it to the end zone. Really strong arm. But then Villanova is able to come up with the incompletion, knock it down, and they move on.
Just over the head of 6'2" Darren Peterson in the last play of the game. So, with Villanova's win and Sam Houston State's victory earlier today, they will play in the quarterfinals here at Villanova Stadium next week. Coastal Carolina beat Richmond. North Dakota State won there. Moving on. What an afternoon, huh?
What a great game. Fun, back and forth. 12-round fight, and Villanova comes out on top.
For Dustin Fox, I'm Jim Barber. So long from Villanova, the final score in our NCAA FCS Football Championship. Second round game was Villanova 29 and Liberty 22. So watch this entire game on replay as well as other games on the ESPN networks. Log on to WatchESPN.com or download the Watch ESPN app. Thanks for joining us today. This has been a presentation of ESPN.